that Elon got a lot of time on his hands. He need to invest in some better ass music. What is this? What am I doing here? All right.
Hey, Dana, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Great. I just finished some dinner, a little bottle of wine. I feel pretty good.
You always drinking, Peter.
Listen, you never know when it's going to be the end when they're going to close your lights. So
Oh, what? Oh my
you
God.
got you got to
More dramatic than a woman.
you got to have a drink every now and again. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. Um, I felt disheveled
How was
because
the weekend? Yeah, what happened with you?
I was when we did the Space Thursday, I was feeling so weak, and I think my electrolytes was just low. It was
You
very,
said
very
you just
low.
started working out again, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't hydrated when I took a Pilates class, and she really did work me, but I wasn't really hydrated. And then I think it just caught up with me, the traveling and everything, yada yada yada. But and then I was out for the count Friday. Went to emergency early Saturday morning. I went through triage and then I left and I just bought the liquid IV drip. You just drink it, and I'm feeling much better. But then my allergies come start up today, right? So the nose is stuffy. So I may sound stuffy, guys. But other than that, I'm good. I'm getting back to normal, making sure I stay hydrated, eating properly, and everything. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Please like and share. And hi, everybody here on X Space. It's been a minute since we even did a space together, Peter. You've been in New York with the Diddy trial. We could talk about that later in the week because I want to talk about the LA riots. So I'm glad you were available tonight, Peter, because you've been MIA acting real white, acting like a true white supremacist. And I already know a lot of people on X don't like you because you hop in black, quote unquote, black spaces, but you do hop in quote unquote white spaces. But for the last couple of weeks, you've been acting like a white supremacist. I just throwing that out there. Maybe you have
This
a
is tongue. This is tongue in cheek, obviously.
yeah. I'm just saying maybe you have an underlying problem or a subconscious problem of a black woman being ahead of something, and you're like the co-host. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? You haven't run the spaces. We have. I'm available. I'm here.
But do you feel like, oh, I don't want a black person to have authority over me? Like, do you have that complex? Because I don't have authority over you. But did that cross your mind? Like, who is this black woman and I'm supposed to be her lackey? You know what I'm saying?
Never once. You know what I'm about. I'm about building the brand and ultimately monetizing, right? So
Okay.
I don't care if you're black, white, red, green. I don't care if your name is Diddy. If I could monetize, I'm going to be on that train. That's it.
Okay. I'm just saying because you were a little MIA, and it's like, okay, so maybe that's his whiteness showing, which you
No,
are
listen,
entitled to.
I've been in the trenches, Southern District trenches, watching this trial every single day, dealing with nut jobs, people outside screaming, yelling, hitting people in the head with flashlights in line. It's been
Mm.
pandemonium out here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a crash out space on that. I did say I'm planning on coming back up there and definitely going because my focus was Beyonce. But tonight's topic, and this topic is probably going to evolve into something else, which is fine. But what's going on in LA? LA, what I put ICE riots in LA are, or should I just put LA ICE riots are not FBA business, honey? Because it's not. It's not. All you Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinos, hold your own nuts, honey. Your pearls, hold your own tacos and burritos. Hold it. That is not our business. And my thing is, what are y'all turning up for? ICE have to do their job. This is why I voted for Trump, why Peter voted, why anybody else who voted for Trump to do their job. So yeah, you got old ass Maxine Waters. They closed the door on that bitch face at the federal building in downtown LA, as they should. Karen Bass as, and Trump brought in the National Guards, the cool stuff now. So where was the Latino Mexican solidarity during the what is it, the Rodney King riots or whatever? So I say all that to say tonight topic is about migrant crisis, is about the LA ICE riots, and why are people concerned with this guy Conscious somebody? People have in spaces want to debate him because what he said something negative about FBA. He is not anybody important, whether it's on YouTube or because I checked out his YouTube channel. He's not. So I don't want, and I just want to throw it out on the table. I don't know who this I am conscious name wrong, but why are Black people, particularly FBA Black people, upset at this guy? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the backstory. They're holding long ass spaces just talking about him, and I just like a lot of people who are talking about him. They're too good to be holding spaces about this person because that person is not an intellect. So that's what do we call that? A showrunner, you know. But yeah,
I don't know why they're giving him so much attention. Who is he that he's
I
like?
don't know.
It's
I have no
crazy.
idea. Yeah. Well, let's kick the backs of the illegals in, maybe some immigrants and migrants, if need be, maybe some tethers if need be. All right. Well, Empress was up first. Oh, and then guys, please share the space on X. Please repost on X. Bookmark it, right, Peter? Ask people to
Yep.
join.
And quote tweet. I found out that one too. Quote tweeting the space gets the algorithm juicy and going and ready for a freak off. So definitely quote tweet to get the algo ready for action.
Should we say not juicy but oily and ready for a
Th-
freak off?
that's much better. Yes. Oily, ready to go, 6-inch heeled up, and ready for Cowboys for Angels. So definitely
Astro
quote tweet.
Glide, yeah, all
Ash,
that.
yep, all of it. A little 2C, nothing crazy, just regular stuff.
Right. All right, so we're gonna go to Empress the Black. I think it was D or King, one of them, whichever one. And yeah, and we'll see where the night take us. Welcome back. Hi, Empress.
Good evening, my gorgeous, beautiful lady, and hello to you, handsome Peter. I want you to focus on your health, Dana. These allergies is real. This is sneezing season. I know I've dealt with it. Got to be up on your health. It's ironic you have it today, and the moon is in Scorpio. Tomorrow, Mercury will be entering into Cancer for about a good 2.5 weeks before we go into Leo. So it's going to bring the intuitive, mothering side out. We're going to see a lot of emotions flying high. But the moral of it is dealing with the LA riots. You know, when they had that the first time was 1992 during the Rodney King time. 1992 was the year of the monkey. And before everything got settled, it was in Rooster of 93 time. Now I bring that up to say this. There's a reaping and sowing within that's going to be shook up from getting Galvin out of office, exposing the lies and the crookedness. Just a time to snack up on your snacks and watch the performance. Liars will always be exposed, and I'm up for it. Now, with the riots, it amazes me how the very ones that love to use racial slurs against the Black community foundational Black American at that, always want Blacks to jump in, and you basically on your own. You've done nothing for the community but use it, exploit it, and abuse it. Now, I'm not going to say everyone, but a vast majority, and they put that out on Instagram daily and sometimes on YouTube, but Instagram for sure. The moral of the story goes like this. You haven't even begun to see anything, but when July comes in my birth month, July and August is going to set it off, bringing in the energy of that fire horse. And more as the fall progresses, you'll start seeing the signs of betrayal, even with Elon and what he's going to expose. You have to learn, as Dr. Henry Clark once said, your only friend is when you look in the mirror. Sometimes people you think is your friend is not. And so it's going to be a lot exposed coming from Elon and number 47. And what I see is it's going to be a shutdown dealing in health crisis coming up. So I'll let that be, and I'll pop up from time to time. I'm making me some herbal tea. Take care of your health. Your health is important. There is nothing on this planet more valuable than your health. Remember that.
Thank you, Empress. Yeah, hold tight, sip on your tea. We're gonna be here for a minute because I need for this to get a little bit juicy. The Black and then King Michael. The Black.
To Black, you're up. Got on mute.
All right, we're gonna go to my King Michael.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Peter, Dana?
Peace, peace,
Hi.
peace.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I actually was looking for your space, Dana. I was like, damn, where's she at? But yeah. Speaking to the title, the ICE riots in LA. Um, are they not FBA business? I'm not going to say they are not FBA business because obviously anything in America is FBA business. But even to the message that the FBAs represent, which is going at immigrants, of course it would be FBA business. But what I got to say about the situation, I cannot fault the Mexicans for standing up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They stand up for themselves. They trying to get their rights. I can't fault them for that, but it's ways and procedures to go about it. I don't agree with they doing out there because, in a sense, you can't be in somebody else's country and thinking you could just have your way, but I understand their pain, coming from immigrant history with my grandmother coming over in the '60s and things like that, and I just think that you know, they have a right to stand up for themselves. But I was really trying to come in when I heard you talking about the conscious lead guy, and I don't know if you're gonna get to that yet, but I'll wait.
I was going to say to
Um,
your point, Michael, real quick, before we address that. In my mind, these individuals don't have any rights here. They're not citizens of the United States of America, and they're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And so, because of that, they could kick rocks. And I thank God that we have the best president in the history of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and Pete Hegseth, and the venerable Tom Homan, to be able to put these people where they need to be, which is outside of this great nation, so that we could take care of what we need to take care of here and now. And this is long overdue. I was watching this with popcorn, very excited. I voted for this, and I'm excited to see the fruits of my voting labor. And I can't wait until people start getting locked up for years using the Insurrection and Riot Act and put them in max security facilities, USP Tucson, USP Hazleton, USP Big Sandy, where they have to put knife work in to even get through the day room every single morning. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
looking forward to.
I mean, no, Pete. Some of these people is they do pay taxes still. They're workers.
I got to interrupt. Don't nobody give a damn.
Who's that talking, man? Who's that talking?
That's Gibson talking.
All right, okay. All right, we ain't gonna turn this into a little violent, hostile. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not turning it into
Conversation.
violent,
We
Mike.
won't. We won't.
You
But
know what
that
I'm
is
saying?
complete nonsense. What you say? We don't care nothing about them paying
No,
taxes.
we
We don't
waiting
pay
for him to
taxes
get the
all our
portal.
life. No excuse.
But I'm just saying, you do know some of those people do pay taxes. They do contribute to certain jobs
Man, you need to be
in
careful so
LA.
you won't get deported, sir. You need to be careful. You might be next.
Mike, if they're doing it,
Who-
they're doing it illegally because they don't have an ITIN number,
Facts.
right? And they're using somebody else's information, which is
Okay.
only causing a problem for everybody else here. This is something that has been long overdue. The Reagan administration gave them amnesty, which was a travesty. They never should have did that, and we're not going to have it again. We're shutting this motherfucker down all day, every day. Nobody's doing nothing. And we're putting out a force, an overwhelming force that's going to show Antifa and whoever else is part of these rabble-rousing groups that you want to fuck around, you're going to find out. And I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Yeah,
So
definitely,
listen,
definitely.
can we get rid of the F word tonight? Because I
I'm
am live
sorry.
on YouTube.
I'm sorry. I forgot, Dana. I
I,
get a
I want
little
to.
boisterous when I talk about these things.
I do want to say though, like I was watching a video one day, and somebody was saying, everybody want illegal to stop coming to America, right? But America goes to other countries, go in, invade, take all the resources or whatever, mess up people's countries, and then expect people not to come here after they messed up people's countries. And then on top of that, it's like if y'all don't know, America is like the world reserve currency. So in certain countries, that $1, that one American dollar, is a hundred to $200 compared to a dollar in another country. So it's like, how you gonna really fault somebody for coming here?
Can
After
you play
after
the
after
Arms
you
of the
after you
Angel
made the
commercial?
hold up, stop interrupting me. After you made the world reserve, after you made the dollar the world reserve currency, you know what I'm saying? In a sense, it's just it's like, I
In
can
the
never
Wait,
fault
arms
hold
nobody
on,
for coming here.
of
everybody.
an
Everybody,
angel.
please stay on your mic.
Yeah, let Mike land
You
before
let
we
him
have
land,
I
and
got beef
then
with everybody, but yeah, I'm gonna land right there.
let me just say
you
one
don't
thing,
you don't
Mike.
have more beef than everybody has with me,
Yeah.
Mike. So you're in good
It's
company.
all good. All
So,
all of them who stepped up to the plate got rolled over by now, But
well,
we're gonna
let
let
me
it
let
time.
me just say one thing, Mike, because the pound is worth more than the dollar. So why are you blaming everything on the United States?
I mean, yeah, in certain countries like that, most
We're
most of
not
the
the only country that went into other countries and tried and took over. So you have different African countries who went in other countries as well. So
but you got Britain going through the same thing right now. You know that, right?
but stop blaming us. That's Britain. Stop blaming us, right? But y'all still come here. Why is it that even after all that, right? Since you wanna blame the big bad wolf, why do you still wanna come to the wolf's den?
Because this is the place where you can make money, Dana.
Right. It all comes down to money, which is why America do what they do. And we know that you guys gonna break your necks to still try and get here. And you talk about your grandmother or your relative that came here in the 60s as an immigrant, but did they come illegally or did they
No,
come
my
the
my
legal
grandmother
way?
came legally. My grandmother came.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
this doesn't apply.
we're
No,
drawing a
Like,
distinction, Mike,
what
between
what
that,
I'm
right?
saying is,
And go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead, no, go ahead. What I was
No,
saying was, listen, I'm not faulting nobody for trying to come. If they're trying to make money, business is business. You know what I'm saying? But yes, you do need to come legally. You do need to come legally. But I'm gonna take the opportunity if I have to. I'm just
But,
saying.
but the thing is, they're not coming in good faith to assimilate. They're coming to extract. They're value extractors. They're not adding anything here. They're taking the money, they're moving it out. They're not building up the community. They're looking to figure out ways to eke out in clever, crafty ways with the Democrat insidious element that is grifting and grafting that would probably make Tammany Hall blush. Okay? That's what's going on. So this is literally just a money grab at our expense. These people are here and we're paying for all this nonsense and we're getting nothing back for any of the money that's being sucked and siphoned out of our wallets. These people got some set of balls. And you had idiots that were running the asylum with that auto pen through the corpse that was in the Oval Office the last 4 years that ran us into the ground. This ends now. This is what we voted for, to take the country back. And I'm loving it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I just put it in the nest. 500, the Department of Defense just announced 500 active duty Marines are now preparing to deploy to LA as the riots intensify. I'd like to see if Retard will come up because he is a Marine and he could testify to what will happen when those 500 leathernecks do deploy. So I'd love to see if he can come up if he's available.
So I don't know what happened to the black. Maybe he was having audio problems. Gibson, you're up.
Hey, I apologize for bringing the F word in, but I am so angry I can't help it. But I'm sorry for. I know you don't like the F word, the derogatory, but I had just bring that in from listening to Michael. What he's saying seemed like to me he's making them excuses those people brought here to wash the black community completely away, and that's basically what they almost have done. So I have no sympathy. I don't care
Yeah,
nothing
that's the
about
part
them
I hate.
paying taxes. I don't care nothing about them paying taxes and nothing else. Get the hell out of here. I'm just gonna say, get the hell out of here. They are taking food out of my mouth, my children's mouth, and everything else. Bye. And I've been in law enforcement for a long time, and I said I was not going to get back into law enforcement. But after seeing all what I am seeing, I am getting right back into law enforcement with ICE. I'll be back in law enforcement with ICE. That's what I'm going to do because we have got to have boots on the ground. We have got to get these people out here. All these lame excuses, all these people impeding law enforcement. What we need is our black line because there's more black people in ICE. I bet you this place will be cleaned up in 6 months because we're not going to tolerate the nonsense that these illegals are doing. They're running around with their flags from their country in America with their flag talking about due process and this. You have nothing here. We owe you absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, you owe us for all the free shit you done got from us. So I am angry as hell and I'm getting back into law enforcement. So goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. I'm getting back into it because I'm not going to stand around and allow this nation to be taken over. And my kids can't enjoy the freedom that I've enjoyed. They can't have the wealth that I created from having the freedom in America. So it's over with. I don't have any excuse about illegal. I don't care what ICE do now. Run them over with truck cars. I don't care. Throw their babies over the wall. I don't care. Simple as that. Goodbye.
Mhm.
Throw the babies over the wall. Okay.
So real quick, King, you also said you wanted to mention something about the conscious dude.
Yeah, because you was asking what was going on with the conscious Lee guy, and basically what he did was he basically called the FBA out. Like, he's like, you like the the narrative that y'all pushing with FBA is just like terrible. Like, he called them out. He wanted to debate with them, and nobody stepped up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? And he was basically saying, like, FBA, y'all got all the smoke for black immigrants. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all talk about black immigrants the most, Jamaican, Haitian, Africans, but y'all stir from the bigger picture, which is the white nationals. He basically saying that FBA is taking on the same type of role that white nationalists take on with black people, but the FBA have their agenda pointed towards immigrants. And I'm about to put a video in the jumbotron.
Well, can
Um,
you please put it in the comment section below? I don't want the jumbotron. What video is it? Just
it, it it's a,
put it in a comment in the blue thing below, because that way when people come back and they listen or they look, they can easily find it there. It's
okay.
just easy access. Put it in there. Um, um, is he conscious or whatever the hell? Is he an immigrant? Is he a
No,
teller?
no, no. Consciously is he's the FBA.
Oh,
Well,
but
no,
is
he's not FBA. He's not
he's
FBA.
he's
He,
not.
he's a Black American, but what he's trying to say. It's like FBA. It's a cult.
All right, he's not a black immigrant,
No,
is
he's
he?
not a Black immigrant.
But he's probably a Pan-African then.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
so.
he's on the Pan-African agenda. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the Negro. So we got the
Yo,
Negro,
hey,
El
Miss
Hotep,
Dana.
Sway Me, and Carrie. Guys, please repost this Facebook Market and on YouTube share and like. Hey, the Negro, how are you?
Dana, just repeat the
Okay.
order again. I want to record that so we have it for
Okay.
next
The
week.
Negro, El Hotep, Sway Me, Carrie. And if anybody else front on request to come up,
And
please do so.
Lamar's up as well.
Oh, he is up. Okay, then Lamar after Carrie. Is after Carrie.
All right. Salute to you guys. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever y'all are at. LA. ICE riots. No, it's not a riot. It's ICE. Doing a job. And are not FBA business. Yeah, I agree. It's not our business, right? I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna hit y'all with some numbers. I have it down in the purple pill for y'all guys. When it comes to for homelessness, they can't even quantify it with these illegal aliens. So obviously they're getting housed. While we're 13% of the population, but we make up 40% of the homelessness, right? We're going to break down the jobs. They make up 4.2 by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We make up 6.3 Black Americans. And I'm going to hit y'all with the final stat, right? That I'm going to run through real quick. The other one we're going to talk about the SNAP benefits. The SNAP benefits. They have access to the SNAP benefits. Holy snap. And we only got so little on that too. We only make up like 30% of those SNAP benefits, but they make up a good portion of that as well. So know what they're leeching, they're sucking up off the
How could they get
what
SNAP
American
benefits if they're
hey
illegal
hey hey
though?
bro. Hey, bro. Actually read the meme, bro. If you ain't blocked, but you blocked because you a sucker. The point that I want to get at is that they're able to, underneath the Biden administration and other administrations, they were able to have SNAP benefits, and they have an immigrant or illegal immigrant program where they can get those fundings as well as other federal fundings, even with school as well. But I didn't have the stats for that as well. But I've been already looking that up, comparing illegal aliens or immigrants in general across the board versus Black Americans and the stats on that. You can check the purple pill is back to back stats because you got these politicians and business people who want to give $3 billion to other nations, and you got this other guy that want to give $1 million to immigrants instead of just giving our reparations and running on a solid platform like that. So these guys are cursed to me. They're not they shouldn't be taken seriously, including you, King Michael. Like with the stuff that you've been saying is just absurd and ludicrous. Um, no, knowing that the people who built this nation is not getting a dime, and they're also being out on the streets, but that don't matter to you. As long as your immigrant brother and sisters, they straight. That's what matters to you. Salute to you, Dana. Salute to you, Peter. Keep doing your things. Let the good time roll. But you can check out the stats in the purple pill, and you can see why I'm upset about this. And I'm glad that they're getting locked up. I hope they suplex them on the ice mobile. Maybe smack a couple of children. I don't care. Punt kid
You
right
hear
back
this,
over the
man?
fence.
Slap the
Yeah, yeah,
children.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Slap
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
children.
yeah, yeah. Slap, yeah.
God
They
damn.
MS criminals. Yeah. They say they MS criminals anyways. They out here threatening our babies anyways with knives and all that stuff. So yeah, smack a couple of children that think
This
Well,
is
they
we're
coming
not
from
grown
going
too.
to
this is
'Cause they,
coming
advocate.
from a
Hold
man who
on,
doesn't have
hold on,
children.
hold on, hold on. We're not advocating violence on anybody. That's number one, and we're definitely not going to and no and absolutely in
hey,
any
they wish
circumstance.
violence on
In
Metcalf.
any
They meant
circumstance, we
violence
are not
on that
advocating. And
other.
I don't know how you talking over the mute button, but it must be a delay to hear everybody. And in no
But
circumstance,
sister, they wish.
how the fuck is he still talking? No circumstance will you ever advocate violence on kids. We're not going to say the F word, and we're not going to advocate violence on kids. We're not going to advocate violence on anybody. So I'm just laying out the rules. Kids are off limits, period.
But where was this at for
I don't
Carmelo
care.
Anthony though?
I don't. Oh,
No.
come
But
out.
where was that at for Carmelo
Hold
Anthony?
on. I don't give a fuck. This is my space, and I'm telling you the rules. I said I'm on YouTube, so It is rules. Respect that. I don't give a damn about Carmelo
I,
Anthony. I don't.
oh yeah, but it's a black
He's
kid.
being
We don't care
tried.
about it though.
He's being tried as an adult, and that has nothing to do with what's going on with the LA ICE riots right now. So stay on topic. Do not advocate any violence on anyone, especially kids.
All right, fine. They need to pack up.
Now it's a delay to unmute. It's a delay to mute. It's a delay to unmute. Elon got a lot of time on his hands. He need to upgrade this damn platform.
Dana, some of these people that be up here, they don't really have no
Hey,
kids or none of that
hey,
type of
hey, hey,
stuff.
hey, hey, quit crying over
They're
there,
nasty
Michael.
people.
They need to pack up.
You
They
know,
just need to
I
pack
don't
up
understand that.
everybody so they can leave, right?
This is
You
what
don't
consciously
understand it
is
because
talking
you're a
about
part of the
too.
problem.
Slaps
No,
the
no, you're a
Well,
kids.
part
hold
of the
Come on,
on,
problem
man.
Michael.
too.
Let him finish. He needs
Yeah,
to
Mike.
finish. Don't step on his time. And I don't give a goddamn what conscious whoever the F said he's irrelevant. I'm just trying to figure out why was everybody tagging him, making him relevant. That's all I wanted to know. But go ahead, the Negro.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna just sum it up with this. They shout out to the ICE director guy, the ice cream truck, saying that he want to lock up the whole family in the paddy wagon. I definitely want to see that. I want to bring back the good old 1980 days where they used to have black people lined up on the all different ages on the sidewalk. No, I want to see all these illegal aliens on the sidewalk, right? See, that's the stuff that I grew up on, that I saw. So yeah, I think it's return for favor for favor. Since they like to call the police on Negroes over petty stuff, while they out here doing human trafficking. There's over 300,000 black women that has been unaccounted for. But so like it's whatever. I think they're getting that good old American boot on the neck justice that's much needed with these illegal aliens and people who want to break the law. Like they say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Speaking of human trafficking and stuff, I think that may be a little bit too heavy tonight, but I do want to do a follow up to this because I do want to expose how these Mexicans and a lot of people in South America, they are heavy into human trafficking. It's a business. It's the cartel.
It's not.
It's part of. Can please stop? It's a business, and so I definitely will have to do a part two. Um,
And
El
Dana,
Dana,
the
can I
guy, the
respond
guy
to
that they
that?
just brought back from the CCOT prison in El Salvador, because he's being charged now for human trafficking. Kilbrego, I think Garcia is his last name.
yeah.
He was heavy in this, and actually was caught with child pornography. So he's going to go to prison here, serve his time, and then he's going to go back to CCOT. Maybe I actually posited that they should be sending these guys, if they're doing long stretches, the first 10 years should be served in El Salvador, even if it's an American citizen. Send them over there if they're doing long stretches and let them work their way back into the mainland to do their time in a mainland prison.
So you
I
think
think it,
American citizens should go and do prison time in El Salvador?
yep.
I don't think I don't agree with, and I'm only going to say I'm gonna say this and go to El Hotep. The reason why I don't agree with that, a lot of times our justice system here, they don't even get it right here, and we're dealing with American jails and prisons and penitentiaries. Is that a word? Penitentiary. And
Penitentiaries.
penitentiaries, yes. So if you do think that you found somebody guilty and you shipping them to El Salvador, and then it comes to find out that you didn't, everything is going to be lost in transition. It's just going to be it's going to be more innocent people going than it is, the right criminals. So no, stay here if you're an American citizen.
What about child molesters and people who abuse children?
They've been here. They've been. If that's the case, this plan should already been on it. They've been here. They've been here. So
I'm saying we need a new plan. Send them over to CCOT.
that's not,
Send
yeah,
them
but the
over.
new, how about we fix our system here?
Yeah, we could do both.
Let's
We can
fix it
walk and
here.
chew gum. We
No,
could
no, we
send the
can't,
worst of
because
the
that
worst.
hasn't even been working. Because we only have the plan A, which is our system, and that's not even working properly. So now you want to throw in another jurisdiction in a foreign country? No, because then it's going to be a problem with innocent black bodies being shipped to El Salvador, and No, I don't. It's, to me, it's just going to be too messy with bureaucratic red tape. Too much of a mess. It's a decent idea, but that's too soon. Let's go to El Hotep. Is he still here? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Dana, how's it going, Peter?
Honey, you
How's it
gonna
going?
have
What's
to
up?
speak
Yeah,
up.
you got your mic is very low.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Yeah, please, no fancy Bluetooth. I think El Hotep
While you're
every
straightening that
time.
out, let's go to Kerry while you
No, it's
straighten out your
actually
mic.
Sway Me then Carrie.
Oh, I'm sorry, sway me.
Oh, okay. Good evening, Dana and Peter. Yeah, last night I held a space talking about this. This is really, I agree with you, Peter, really bold of these beings to come to the soul and demand something that is not theirs, they're not entitled to. I descend, you all know I'm a freedman. I'm standing on it. I'm a patriot. You see that my avatar is of my father that served this country and served in Nam. Okay, I'm a represent. I am a patriot of my country. And I'm also a founding population of this country. We will not be removed. And this is our narrative and our story and our resources. So, I'm all about it, making sure that we have our full citizenship, and that we, as the Americans that have saved this country, not once, but many a times, are not going to be punked out of our rightful position in our country. It's not going to happen. So I just wanted to put that out there because everybody's like, we know the Hispanic Latino community is trying to trump up in here, right? We see it happening in our neighborhoods. Somebody, I was out on the net, this guy gonna say, because it said Compton, he thought it was Black Americans and said that we were flying a Mexican flag. Like, really? No, we're not down like that. No way. So I just wanted to put that out
I
there.
think shit isn't the black areas, aren't they being quote unquote gentrified by the Mexicans and everybody
Yes.
else? So there's
Yes.
no more black communities in LA, are there? Shit.
I think Compton is still black, though. No, isn't it majority black, Compton?
Well, maybe it is majority black, but I think it's more bodies of others there than any other time in history. I don't know, but
Oh yeah, that's thanks to Newsom and Karen Bass and all the other members of Congress and the senators that are from there and the Catholic charities that bring these people in so they could grift off the taxpayer to collect grant money and other funding and all the other NGOs. It's all part and parcel. And so this
okay.
is great.
I'm sorry, El
Yeah.
Hotep. He must. What happened, El Hotep? Come back up when you get a chance.
I invited him to come back up. So
Okay.
maybe he's straightening his mic out.
Yeah, and
I,
this is
I
what I
had a
wanted to say about
question.
the conscious dude. Or go ahead, sway me. What you were saying?
Yes. What did you all think about what Trump said?
What
What
he
did he
said?
say?
Trump's post about restoring order and setting Los Angeles free
I love
Of
it.
what?
uh, of the occupation, the insurrection. He's calling it insurrection. He's using certain terminology. I'm loving it.
Oh, yeah, he's throwing it back in their face. It makes sense, right? Because that's exactly what they're doing.
Right. This is a real insurrection, not the nonsense people urinating in corners. This is people lighting shit on fire, lighting cars on fire, uh, literally raising other countries' flags. It's mind-boggling. So yeah, I'm with it all the way,
Can
Sweeney. I think we're on the same side of this issue on this one.
can I?
So
All
here's
right.
the thing. One second, Mike. Here's the thing. There you do have a right to peaceful protest. You have a right to that. But the thing is, when it turns to violent, when you start vandalizing, that's a problem. But people have a right to peaceful protest, but apparently it's not peaceful. And let me just insert this before I go to Carrie. It's Carrie Lamar and I see D. But anyway, this is why the conscious do. That's why I asked, was he a Pan Africanist? Because this, I just remembered. Why this is the question? Is Pan African dead? Is Pan Africanism dead? because they had this sorry ass protest that's supposed to be a protest in Harlem protesting Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A didn't shut down their business for like 3 hours in honor of Malcolm X's birthday. So they started protesting. And it was like a little bit of people out there with the Pan African flag. And it was so pitiful. And my thing is, if y'all supposed to be so pro-black and y'all supposed to be for the diaspora, where was all the motherfucking Caribbean African? Because that's all that's in the 5 boroughs. Where were all these people, that should have been out there protesting Chick-fil-A with you? So that's why I'm like, is Pan-African dead? Maybe I need to add that into the title. Is Pan-African dead? I think it is. So I just wanted to throw that on there. I knew it was something with the Pan-African
I
thing.
don't think it's dead.
Um, well, it is dead when you have no power, you have no influence. It is.
What?
That's the whole fact. So the little, and and this is what I'm saying. I don't know why people was in the conscious dude, because he must have came in a space somewhere and he must have leveled the shit and got people upset. And I'm like, why? How can you let a person come into your space and talk shit and you don't get a lick off?
Nah,
And
he.
now everybody like, where you at? Where you at? Well, he came in the door already, and everybody wasn't saying shit when he came in the door. But now everybody want to talk shit about him. I wouldn't even at him, because my thing is, y'all Pan Africans, y'all have no influence and no power.
I
So
don't. I also, Dana, I also don't understand how any FBA could be a Democrat after this and after these last 4 years. I just don't understand it at all. I mean, these are the same individuals who brought these people in, who are literally taking money out of programs that could directly benefit your community. And how could you support them? I don't get it in any way, shape, or form. It's like a diametric opposition to many of the talking points and the policy points of many of the FBAs that I've spoken with and I've been in communication with in these rooms for the last 6 months. I just don't get it. I'd love to have one of them come in here and explain, somebody who's FBA and Democrat, explain themselves, and how they could stand with a group of basically the enemy within. That's what I see the Democrats as.
yeah, I Carrie and then Lamar.
Hi, Dana and Peter and everyone on the space. Please bear with me. I had some major surgery done on my mouth, and so I can't hardly speak. But I'm just upset with the whole thing. I'm so sick of Newscom and all these politicians over there in California that live in these multi-million-dollar homes, and oh, they want this shit to happen. You know they do. It's a blue state, number one. I'm sick of seeing these flags that aren't, from America. It's just crazy. And, back in the day, my grandparents came over from Russia just like any other. And we didn't get free. They didn't get anything free. You had to work for it. You know, I have to pay for my dental work today, but these illegal aliens, they can get free health care, they can get free housing, they can get free food, everything. They get more than I do. And I work for a living. And it's just bullshit. And I think a lot of people are getting really pissed off about it. I know, I mean, when I see that going on today, it really got me going. I got so angry about seeing that bullshit. And it's just, and I know Newscom is an asshole, and so is Maxine Waters, and all those people over there uh, uh, they're the ones that are promoting all this crap, or they would not, or it wouldn't happen. So they should be hauled off, or they should be impeached. I don't even know if you can even do that, but they are no good. And I just think it's wrong. I think they should haul all these paid rioters off too, um, along with all these illegal aliens. I'm just sick. I'm tired of seeing their flags and seeing, oh, don't take this guy. He has a family. Hey, you should have thought of that before you came over illegally. Do it the right way, like my grandparents did, and every other, person did. This is just bullshit. And if they think that, I mean, the average citizen is going to go after their ass right now because, I mean, it's just pissing a lot of people off. And I think Newscomb and all those politicians over there, this is a real insurrection. Not like January 6th, where they put all those people in jail without a trial and get out 4 years later. That's bullshit. This is an insurrection. And Bass, she can kiss my ass. She needs to go over there and she's saying it's a peaceful protest. Bullshit. I can't stand that bitch.
Carrie,
And
lay off the curses. I'm not,
I'm just so
people are
angry. I'm
entitled to
not
one
saying the F
people.
word.
I know, but okay, now I gotta add a new rule. People are only entitled to one curse word, never the F word, and then you are entitled to one curse word other than the F word.
Dana, you got to realize this is a very spirited conversation. People are
It
getting in their
is, and
feels.
the
It's
fact,
terrible.
right? And it's me putting a lot of restraints because I am on YouTube, but we are all adults and we could push through it. So one curse word other than the F word and never the F word. Go ahead, Carrie.
What about a cash out curse word bot? They could buy curse words.
Which would be what? I don't understand that.
So there's a sliding scale, $5 to $15. F
Okay.
words are
All I'm
$15.
saying is put
Oh
them
yeah,
all,
yeah.
deport them all, just gather their butts up and haul them off. I'm tired of it. And I just think, it's ridiculous. And you can just blame the politicians over there for it because they're the ones that are promoting it.
Yeah.
That's
Can I,
it.
can I ask a question? I just want to know, like, how do y'all feel about like the January 6th people who rushed the Capitol building? Is the riot worse than that? Like,
1,000 times. What
Exactly.
do you mean? How?
Oh
What
my
is
was
the
God.
riot?
what? What
They
was?
didn't have a trial. They never
But
had a
listen though,
trial.
I'm
They
talking
were,
about these people ran into a Capitol building and got pardoned.
oh,
Are they
hey,
worse
it's the
than those rioters?
politicians that
These are
were
foreigners.
behind that.
That's a
It's the
totally different
politicians.
situation.
We gonna ignore that, right? Okay, that's cool.
Oh no, no,
We
we
No,
can
will
Mike,
not
go
ignore it if
ahead.
y'all
ignore
want.
No,
We
anything. They
can.
were
no, we're
punished.
never going to ignore what they did to the January 6th. That is not an insurrection. There were FBI
Well,
agents
I
involved in
do.
that
Wait,
BS.
wait. Wait, I want to push back on some of the things that was said about the January 6th. There were foreign flags. I'm actually put it in a purple pill. There was about a total of maybe 7 to 8 different foreign nation flags, to be exact. And to say that there was no foreign flags participating in the insurrection, that would be a fallacy.
That was not an insurrection. Give me a
Well,
break.
look at the purple. No. It was, ma'am. Look at the purple pill. Look at
No,
the
it
Negro Black
wasn't.
Knights. There was many foreign flags that were there. Yes, there were.
Okay, maybe I didn't notice it, but I noticed it
I
now
cite my
because
sources.
those people on January 6th, they were, okay, number one, they were legal to be here. We're talking about people, illegal aliens, that are getting free everything. This is totally
Mike,
different.
how
And
many
this
things were
is
lit?
an insurrection.
How many things were lit on fire, and how many Molotov cocktails went off in January 6th?
I mean, come on, Pete.
Well, they were
Hold up
using
though.
bear gas. Wait. They were using bear gas. They were hog tying people up. Like they were beating up an officer too. So like I
Oh,
see a
that's
lot of
BS.
commonality.
That is not true. That is not true.
They
No
were
one, you know
literally
who
let in the
died?
building.
Hey!
They
That
I
were
saw
one
that
walking.
beat down.
officer
I
that
saw that
shot
beat down,
that
ma'am.
white girl
They were literally
unarmed.
I
walked.
did
They were
see
Where
that.
walk.
happened to
I
him?
see that beat
They
down
were
though.
walked in the
But I did
building
see
by
that beat
You're
by
down.
by
wrong.
by
But that's
agents.
your
The
opinion.
police let them in the building. Okay, there's video of
Exactly.
this. There were agent
Well,
provocateurs
well, well,
from
the,
the
well, the
FBI
police were.
in the actual crowd, stirring them up to make this into something it
Exactly.
wasn't. This is
So you're saying that the police was playing both sides. So
exactly
they
what
were
I'm saying.
they were
Correct.
being insurrectionists as well as aiding and
No,
abetting.
no, they were doing it. They were doing
Interesting.
it as a pretext to craft a narrative to then spin it up and to go against Republicans going into the next into the mid to have fodder for the midterms and then going into 2024 and then to go after Trump.
But weren't they?
They
But
stole the
weren't they
election
calling for the
anyway.
V? They were saying Lynch Cheney, weren't they? They were saying Lynch Cheney, right?
Well,
See,
her
I have
bestie,
a
the
vivid
I'm
V.
sorry,
memory.
guys. Hold on for a second. I have brought up this guy Day. Is he a bot, Peter? Because his tweets are
It looks trollish,
like. Can
but
you
we could give
drop
him a
him down?
shot.
I
Yeah, I'll
don't know.
drop him. Yeah.
Wait. So should we ask him a
I'm not.
question?
No, let's go to Lamar and get
Yeah.
through the rest of the speakers. Then we could bring up trolls and we could
Okay.
battle with them.
All
Yeah.
right. So it's Lamar and D.
Hey Dana, hey Peter, good to see you.
You too, Lamar. Good to see you.
I try to be quick and germane to the topic. I would just say I respect everyone who says that this is not FBA business, but I would just like to remind everyone the vast majority of illegal aliens that came through, specifically during COVID, were military-age males, what we call MAMs, in government. And if they were not just from Latin countries. They were also from China. There's a bunch of videos where you see people in almost military kit, combat boots, tactical pants, and tactical tops coming through the southern border and kind of disappearing into the United States because Biden's administration basically did catch and release. So as I'm watching what's happening in LA, I don't know if people saw this. There's also reports that Antifa is planning some type of action in San Francisco. You're seeing stuff pop off in New York. And I think there's been a lot of people trying to warn about the potential for a Summer of Love 2. Now, I'm not even going to use the insurrection word because there's a lot of legal jargon that goes into that. But what I would say is the United States of America is primed for a hellish summer. If President Trump doesn't handle this correctly, it's going to be used as a catalyst to light things off in a bunch of major population centers. And I've been talking to my friends both in the IC still and outside the IC right now, and I'll just say they're nervous because the reality is this: there's not enough military personnel that are CONUS within the continental United States of America, or police, or DHS, or border control to deploy to all of the major population centers where things could get stupid. And the left knows this. We are not in a position to where you can deploy 500 plus Marines to every major city plus National Guard and handle this. I I think that this gets really dumb. And while everyone's really paying attention to, the people in the crowd waving Mexican flags, as much as I hate that, I think that's a distraction because the real threat are the people that are going to be moving around in black bloc, targeting critical infrastructure, especially at night. So I just say, as Samuel Jackson says in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Lamar. Appreciate the input.
So Day is requested again. We're gonna go to D. And did you want to bring Day up now?
Yeah, I'll bring him up.
Go ahead, D.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Hi, how are
I'm
you?
Great.
happy to see you guys again. Okay, so I don't think it's any American's business, not just FBA. I don't think any American should be getting involved in immigration, illegal immigrant fighting with ICE agents. I think we're headed for a civil war. And it goes far beyond these little race wars that we hear on spaces like, black people this and white people that. I think it's so stupid. And you think that these individuals that are arguing,
Shorty just all live the title.
what?
Everybody needs to stay on your mic. Don't stop on somebody else's time.
I mean, I don't even mind a back and forth. I didn't even hear what he said.
Yeah, it could be a back and forth once you're finished, but it's like just have decorum, people. Go ahead, D.
So, you would think that people in spaces that are arguing over the silliest little race wars and with like just a few people in a room would come together as a whole and like as Americans and fight for their country. And instead of fighting for illegal immigrants to be in this country, I think that Antifa is a bigger threat to America than these little race wars. Clearly, they're being funded. So, which is another reason why I think that we're headed for a civil war because the political violence has just become more common and acceptable. And it's like a showdown between the state and the federal governments. And it's just intensifying. We aren't just debating over race. at all. These aren't just political disagreements. They've become identity based and religious based, and it's just, I don't know. To me, I think we're headed for a civil war. I'm not even mad at it. I think personally we need it. Some people say that the Democrats are pushing that. I don't agree. I think the Democrats don't want a civil war. I think we definitely need a civil war, but I don't think it should be a black versus white thing. I think it should be more of an American versus illegal immigrant thing. That's the bigger issue. Millions and millions of illegal Americans are in this country and committing crimes, committing violence. So people need to wake up and stop the stupid shit back. Sorry, I didn't mean to say shit. Um, really, people really do need to wake up and look at around them what's going on, because like I remember when during the Summer of Love was going on in the Bronx. I remember how the communities came together, and it was the Italian communities came together with Dominican communities, and they all stood up for their communities, and they were not letting anyone, you know, do anything. You weren't coming into these communities, and they stood together, like the Albanians, Dominicans, the Italians, all of them stood together, and it was just like no one, like they were outside. I have video and footage of it, um, staying outside daily. Like no one's coming to this neighborhood. And I think that people need to do that more as a whole, as Americans. You want to come here, do it the right way. Come here legally. But I think that, like Peter said, they aren't here adding any value to our lives. They're taking from us, and we're paying for their health care, paying for them to live here. I mean, what was it? $52 million to put them in New York City in how for housing that came out of taxpayers' money. That, I mean, it's getting so crazy, and that's the bigger problem that we have today. Not black versus white or any other race. It should be Americans versus illegal immigrants in a land.
So, can I say something just really quick, Dana, if you don't mind? I don't want to step on anyone. I don't disagree with you, D. My point is this with respect to people staying out of this quote. We're not going to be able to set this out, is what I'm saying. As these people become active, the disruptions will become more aggressive. First, it's blocking traffic. Then it's going after things that really impact our lives. It's annoying to be sitting in traffic on the 101 because you have a crowd in the street. It gets a lot worse when all of a sudden some power substation somewhere gets attacked, and now you have no AC in the middle of the summer, and your food in your refrigerator goes bad. This is what I'm talking about. I get it. Stay away from the racial stuff, but the fox is in the henhouse. Millions of these people are here, the vast majority of which are military age guys. And you'll notice, if you paid attention to the streams of these people coming into the country, you didn't see a whole bunch of elderly or obese people. I think these people are ready to go. And yes, I'll pin the tail on the donkey on this one. The Democrats did this. They were flying people in on the middle of the night. Yes, I know, Danny, you didn't want to get into this, but the children stuff where they were putting them on planes and flying them into different states in the U.S. and all of a sudden there's 350 plus thousand kids that can't be accounted for. it I understand. Like I don't think that we're just going to be able to sit on the sidelines and talk about this in spaces, because we're seeing it now. It's starting to come home.
Well, that's what I was saying.
This is in,
I
this is
don't
in
I
people's
don't think we
backyard
should
now.
be sitting on the sidelines. I think we should be coming together than sitting in spaces all day and talk about black people and white people and Jews and Muslims. I just think that we should come together and fight for our country as we're legal. We are legal. We're here legally. So I think what I'm saying is that we, like, exactly, you basically took the words out of my mouth. I don't think we should sit on the sidelines for this one. I think we should come together though and stop fighting over racial stuff that where we can just get along.
So you feel like this is an attack
Can
on
I
America,
comment? Wait,
basically?
wait, wait. I want to comment on that. Because what I observe is when people say that, they never take into account to the friendly fire that white people have done to black people, even in the armed services. Yeah, we could be fighting side by side, but I'm not gonna catch a stray for no no white people. I'm gonna sit this out. I'm gonna have my popcorn and I'm gonna watch and just watch my own doorstep. That's what I need to be responsible for. Watch out for my own community. Why should I have to watch out
Well,
for
that's
others?
your prerogative,
I mean,
and
this
you
is
can
our
do that.
country,
But you
man. What
could
are you
do
talking
that. That's the
about?
beauty of it. You can do that. But like, I don't know if you have kids or nieces or nephews, but this is for the generations to come. You want to fight for. You are fighting for not just you. You're fighting for the children in the world. You know, like people have children. You in your families. We need to come together. It really is time to stop the racial stuff and look.
No, no,
And this
I'll
is
fight for my own
and this is
children.
the behavior of a FBA. They don't know what they want. They don't know what side to be on. Everything's just got to be
Oh,
them. They
I'm
don't
on
even
my
care about other black
side. I'm on
people.
my side, Mike.
Just FBA, and this is the behavior of them. It's trash.
No, we're
So
freedmen. We're freedmen.
one
So
second,
you know,
Michael. What is the behavior of the black immigrants then? Because are you saying black? Are
Degeneracy.
you saying that the black immigrants are on the side of the illegals?
I mean, not. I mean, I can't speak for everybody.
Yeah,
So
you
then,
don't know
how
I
are
what
can't
you?
speak for
side. You don't know
So
everybody.
what
then,
side
I'm gonna
you
speak
so
for
on.
then,
me
how are you criticizing? Why are you criticizing?
because he just said that. Because listen, he just made an argument that yeah, he wants every illegal to be deported. The girl was just saying that we all need to step up for this, and he just said, "Oh, I'm not doing nothing."
My tax
Come on,
dollars
man.
has
Well,
ICE
he's
doing that for
entitled
Come
me.
to
on,
the
man.
way
No,
he's
my tax. Yeah,
wait.
I'm
He's
entitled.
entitled to how he feels, and the Negro doesn't speak for every black American. You don't speak for every black immigrant. So again, why are you generalizing a group when you don't even have answers or solutions coming
Because
from your own group?
I do have solutions.
I
Why I
said coming
criticize
from
them?
your own group.
Because Dane, if you listen to these people, they arguments are garbage. You can't
These
even be.
people. Are you allowing that to
Hold
rock,
up. You
Dana?
can't
Negro, stay
listen.
on your mic.
You can't even be FBA if you only got 50% FBA in you.
Well,
They'll
I
say,
don't.
nah, you're
Come
not
on,
Who?
that's a
FBA.
lot,
Wait.
bro. Stop
Who said?
it.
Who told you something like that? That makes no sense.
Dana, I got 25% in me. They'll tell me, oh yeah,
What is
you're not
25%?
it's still a part
How
of
do
it.
wait?
They'll
How
tell you
did
you're
you?
not
he's
black.
correct.
How
He's
did you
correct.
come up?
I can
Hold on,
speak
stop.
on it.
Everybody stay on your mic. One person at a time. And now I'm asking, I'm talking to, let me talk to Mike. How did you come up with 25%? I'm confused.
Because my grandfather is I already explained this to you. My mother is half American. My mother's half black American, whatever. If
How
y'all
is
trying
your
to make
mom
FBA
half black American?
because
Who are her parents?
her father is American and her mother is Jamaican. But what I'm trying to say to you is um
He's a
you can't
$5
So
say
Negro.
that
so
if
then
FBA is supposed to be a
wait, and then your dad is what?
full Jamaican.
Uh,
What I'm trying to say is that if you saying that FBA is a lineage, right? If it's supposed to be a lineage, right?
so you would
Anybody that
get a
has a piece of
portion of
that,
some type of reparations on your
no, not,
mother's father's side.
I'm not talking about reparations though.
No,
I'm
because
just
that's honestly, let me just set the record straight for me personally. I really don't give a fuck what somebody is as long as you are legal here. I
right.
only separate myself when it comes down to reparations. I don't do
Okay,
all that other tribalism shit.
but okay,
I'm not a
reparations.
Pan-Africanist. I'm none of that. So the fact is that when it comes down to reparations, yes, I'm very specific, and I'm a separatist. Other than that, I'm American, and I only deal with illegals. I
Me
mean,
too.
not
I'm
illegals.
American
I
too.
only
I'm
deal
a
with legals. Only deal with legals. But if you disrespect my lineage here in America, then we got a goddamn problem. So it's reparations and it's disrespect. That's when I separate. That's it. I don't
right,
fall into all the other fucking semantics.
right. But what I was trying to say, if it's a lineage, right, you cannot tell somebody that they're not part of that lineage if they're not
Well, you
a
don't
full
claim.
Black
Well, okay,
American.
so this is the thing. Then
That's
you
what I'm going
never
at.
claim it. You only claim your immigrant side. You don't
No,
never. And then when you do talk about Black American side, you always criticizing it because
no, I
you don't even
don't.
know. You don't even know your full history. You don't even know the full American history that has to do with Black Americans. So when you go in these spaces, because I hear you, you are pro Black immigrants. You are pro
I'm pro
immigrants.
Black people.
Period.
Period,
But
Dana.
you're pro immigrants. Period, and that's it. And then to be specifically when talking about your blackness, you're pro black immigrants. That's it. You don't
No,
deal
Dana,
with
Dana,
you don't deal with foundational black American lineage or history. You
Dana,
don't.
Dana. If I told you I got a piece of that in me,
It
What are you
doesn't matter.
talking about?
You don't claim it. Like
I
you,
do claim
you
it. I say
He's
I'm
trying to
criticize.
switch
American.
No, Mike.
blackness,
What I'm
family.
talking about is, and I need people to stay on their mic. You criticize that part of you. You criticize it. You criticize it
No, I don't, Dana. How can I criticize myself?
because you never say anything positive.
I do. I
Like
do. But you
what?
know what they
Like
tell
what?
me?
What do you
I
say?
say I say all kind
What
of
do you
stuff.
say?
Like
No, I
like
want
we
I
like
want you to tell me what do you say? Okay,
okay.
tell me what you say.
I say that black people in the wholeness is great. We the
A
greatest
wholeness.
race.
I'm talking about Black Americans.
Black
Race.
Americans is great.
No,
I
no, no.
always say that.
Mike, I'm talking about I'm not talking about Pan-Africans. I'm not talking about Black immigrants. I'm talking about that foundational Sway Me calls herself free man. I'm talking
No.
about that. I'm talking about that. What have you said positive about that
Okay.
part, about
Okay.
that
What this is
side?
what okay. I said this. This is what I said. I said if I have to claim slavery, then I don't. I'm not claiming that shit. That shit is only 400
Okay, so that's
years.
nothing positive. You ain't say nothing positive,
You know what
Mike.
I'm
So you
saying?
just made
I
my
ain't.
point. Let me
So
wait.
nigga, you not black. It's okay.
I
I'm not
gotta
claiming
move on.
slavery. I'm not claiming
No.
to
I need
oppression.
everybody stay on
Cause
their
we
mic.
not
We
claiming
not. I'm
you.
not doing this. I need everybody to stay on their mic. We are not hopping off the mic. When it's somebody's time to talk, people are going to talk without being interrupted, and then people can rebuttal afterwards. But I need to go on to the next speaker. Okay, who is Day still up here? The troll.
I'm not a troll. I'm a regular
Yeah,
person.
Okay.
Dave, what's up, man?
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say, I listened to Dana on from back in the day on the Star Report and on YouTube and stuff. I wanted to say, uh, I agree with like with this sentiment and stuff. I don't think that this has nothing to do with FBA. And honestly, I think we should be celebrating, that they're getting, deported and being sent back and stuff. I think it should be taken a step further. I think that the 13th Amendment or the 14th Amendment that gives citizenship. The Dominican Republic did something a couple of years ago where basically people that came to their country illegally over a 50-year period, them and their children were deported, regardless if their children were born in the country. I think we should do the same thing. We have a bunch of people who have dual allegiance to another country while being in our country and while telling us how great their country is where they're from, but they're in our country. I don't get that. Like if you love your country so much, then how about you go back over there? You flying another flag, and some people say, "Oh well, they here, they've been here 2 generations, they have kids." I don't care. I don't care. Get out of my country. That's how I feel.
That's a good point. And then did y'all hear what the Mexican president said? She said it in Spanish or whatever the name of the language is. So I'm assuming when somebody had to translate it, that wasn't
Look at that
propaganda,
case.
huh? Gibson, can you mute up, please? Thank you. Peter, did you hear what the Mexican president said, where she's encouraging Mexicans to rise up?
No, but when did this happen?
Okay, so
Today?
that dude Dom, he is a propagandist. Some stuff he posts, I don't believe. I take it with a grain of salt. But he posted a clip of her talking, and I guess she's talking in Mexican language, Spanish or whatever. And then you hear the translator, and she's basically saying, telling the Mexicans to rise up here in the United States and
So,
protest.
so Dana, if I could,
That's
it was
wild.
actually worse than that. So it was at the height of the terror war with Mexico, and she said, as a threat to the United States, she would call on Mexican immigrants in the United States to activate. Was her exact words.
Okay, so that was that she said that for real, for real.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because Dom, I don't trust him as far as I can fucking throw him, and I can't throw men far at all. So yeah,
Oh, was it Don Luker?
yeah, him. I think he's full
Yeah,
of
he's
shit. But
well, he's connected to Gary, the Gary Ginsberg or whatever, Grinsdorf, whatever his name is, the
I don't know, and I don't see it.
numerologist dude.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I mean, what Lamar said is what we're seeing, right? That I've heard reports. These are probably they're uncorroborated right now, but that there are sleeper cells that are being activated and heading into the area. So I mean, we could potentially see that in the next 24 hours, if not less. And I'm seeing reports now on here that people are being active in Houston and New York. Right, I'm in Jersey. I haven't been to New York today or this weekend. I'm going tomorrow to go watch the trial, so I'll let you know what I see. But I think we're ready over here for any type of disturbance. There's a lot of law enforcement and retired military that are here, and I don't think anybody's letting anything go down like what we're seeing in LA. So
Well,
they could try if they want
let
to.
me throw this out there, and then I'm gonna go to Ben. It's not going to happen in New York right now because the focus is Diddy. See, this is all, excuse me, this is all propaganda to where, when I say propaganda, the Democrats, yes, they are really turning the switch on. They turned the switch on in LA. So next thing they're going to activate Houston. When the Diddy trial over, okay, it's July, hot as hell in New York. Let's activate New York. So they are setting it up so it could be another red summer.
Yeah, but I
And
think
I
Trump calls in
guarantee
a
you,
call.
mark my words. I just said red summer, right? And guys, go look that up for history purposes. What's today's date? June the 8th on a Sunday at 9:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By mid-July, the legacy news like the CNNs, MSNBC, and even Roland Martin's, all of them, they're going to start using the hashtag Red Summer. See, this is part of the Democrats' play. I guarantee you, because there's some sneaky
I think
ass bastards.
I think Trump calls in a favor with Adams and makes sure that there's enough of a presence and ICE individual, groups that are in
I get
here
all that, but
uh,
what I'm saying
to
is
quash it.
they're still going to flip the switch. They're going to flip the switch up. Yes, Trump is going to have a plan in place, but the fact is that it is the Democrats who are flipping that lid, turning the fucking lights on. They're the ones behind the activation in LA. Next, probably most likely going to be Houston. There's going to be New York. It's going to be Chicago. And then they're going to, in the media, only thing the media is going to say by mid-July, red summer. And because they always have to pin it with Black American suffering and history. And the history of red summer is the summer of 1919. And then technically it was the whole year, but it was the summer where it was a height of riots against Black Americans. And that is their play. I will bet you $100 on that.
Did this led up to Tulsa, Red Summer? What you're talking about?
Yes
What you're
and no.
referencing or no?
Yes and
Yeah.
no. But
Okay.
yeah, but it was before Tulsa, but which yes, I would say most
Well,
likely, but it that was nothing new. The riots before 1919 that were happening. It's just that within that 1 year, you had over 2,000 riots targeted specifically towards Black Americans and their communities. So you talk about domestic terrorism here. See, nobody don't want to talk about that nasty part of history, but that is what the Democrats are going to use to try and save face and make Trump be the quote unquote racist white supremacist who wants to get rid of Black history and in the education system while he repeats history. They're going to create that fucking narrative. And
good.
I don't understand why, if we're so intelligent, and Lamar, you need to be backing me up on this. We all need to be throwing on the wall every fucking scenario that Democrats' plans come up with. When we look at COVID, when we look at the open borders, when we look at the shit under Obama, so they create these scenarios. When we look at BLM, that was all planned for the Democrats to control and take control on a state level and a federal level. Chaos. When your back is up against the wall, when you're caught red-handed, when you're fucking losing, right? You cause chaos as a distraction, and then within that chaos, you could come out as a victor. And that's exactly what they're going to do with these fucking riots. And LA is the tip. But I guarantee you, legacy media is going to start using the word red summer.
No, I agree with you, Dana. And the one thing I would remind everyone, it was President Obama's chief of staff, Rob Emanuel of Chicago fame, who said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And I think that what we're seeing with respect to the migrants is a long-term plan. I won't get crazy into it, but everyone can look it up. It's called Cloward Pivot. It's basically the importation of a bunch of people that are not germane to your country. You then put them on the social systems, and it drains it to the point to where the system breaks. And then as the system is breaking, the taxpayers are complaining, rightfully so, that things are not fair. How is it that these people who are not born here and came here illegally are being given all these state benefits that are being paid for by the taxpayers, but the taxpayers are being screwed over? And I think we're hitting that fever pitch now.
And I think they need to start doing what they said, which is to start going after the mayors and the Congress people that are calling for these types of things, right? Use the Riot Act. If you engage in interstate commerce and use any of the wires, electronic, anything, email, phone, and you are encouraging people to do this type of shit, you're just as guilty as them and a co-conspirator, and you could be charged under the Riot Act, and you get 5 years for that. So start locking up Michelle Wu, lock up Brandon Johnson, Karen Bass, fucking lock up Newsom. Lock these people up, get them out, send a message. A message does need to be sent right now that this is not going to be tolerated, so we don't have to worry about this, red summer like you're talking about, Dana, coming up in the next 2 months.
Well, it's technically it's here. It's this is the beginning, because if you notice, when the guy Garcia, right, when he was extradited back here or some mess like that, when it came out, when was it, Friday? It was Friday that came out that
Yep.
he had all these charges. Well, when did the fucking LA riot start? Saturday. Is that a coincidence? Come on.
Yeah, well, they were calling for action starting Friday, right? If you looked at the posters they had
Right after the
from
news
Antifa.
broke about Garcia. Again, Democrats caught red-handed. They pick a crisis, they pick a person, or they pick a situation, or they pick a story, and then they toss it to legacy media, and they create a fake narrative and put it out there. So now they get caught red-handed. He really was part of the MS-13. He was trafficking, blah, 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 right? He really was a criminal, right? Oh, well, we can't let Trump come out looking like he knew what he was doing. Let's throw some chaos right on the mix. The riots start in LA. Nobody isn't talking about Garcia. Nobody isn't talking about the Democrat fuck up or fuck ups. Everybody's talking about the riots. So come on, like, we are still distracted even on this X space talking about the very fucking topic because it's right in our faces. But I'm gonna go to Ben and then April.
This has been a long process by presidents of the United States, and sometimes we didn't pay attention. Black Americans, as well as white Americans, did not pay attention. Ronald Reagan did a mass amnesty bill. In other words, Ronald Reagan, who was a Republican president at the time, if anybody over here was illegal in his last 4 years of office, those people became citizens. That's mass amnesty under a Republican president. The president before that, Jimmy Carter, allowed 250,000 Cubans in the Mario boat lift and 25,000 Haitians to just come over into the United States of America. It was Johnson who did the Cuban Adjustment Act and the Immigration Act. I think Immigration Act of 1965, the Cuban Adjustment Act of 1966. These policies have an impact on and have had an impact and are still having an impact on the citizens of the United States of America as we see today. Of course, and Ronald Reagan, who was the TPS, was started under the Republican. I think Bush #1 started the temporary protection status. The Democrats kept it going. Of course, Trump is doing the right thing on immigration. I admire him for having the audacity, for having the boldness to act correctly and for the best interest of the American public. But this has been going on a long time. Perhaps the American public has not paid attention like we should. And the riots in California are a result of bad public policy from the Democrats as well as the Republicans. What Trump is doing should have been done 40 or 50 years ago. To the God's honest truth. What Donald Trump is doing should have been done 40 or 50 years ago. And at this point, it's almost too late.
Yeah,
And
why would they
also,
do it, Ben? Right? They wanted to import their own
can I finish?
voters.
Can I
Yeah, yeah.
finish, please? Can I finish? Can I land the plane? And then also, when you have massive immigration, the thing about it is those people are not going to make a change in the governments of their country. We are blessed as Americans by people who've come before us, who was willing to sacrifice and die, give their very lives if they had to make the country better for future generations. We are living under that shade tree. Now, for a country to become better, the people have to stay and they have to fight. And if you allow massive immigration, you have brain drains on countries, and the people will never be bold enough to stay there and fight and make it a better country for their offspring, for their children. I've landed. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ben. Um, April.
Hey, Dana, how you doing?
Good.
Crazy
How are you?
Pete. Peace to the room, peace, power, and reparations to the people. I like your title. Um, Definitely, it's none of our business. The narrative in which you were talking about, it's just I don't believe it's going to work, in any capacity, and I rebuke and reject any reference to Red Summer. They're not comparable in any way, shape, or form. And the attempt is something that we should adamantly reject and rebuke. It's not the same. That was state sanctioned. It was over. It's like 25, 26 cities, right? And we were targeted, right? We weren't illegals trying to actually setting shit on fire. That's not what happened and at all. And so I reject and rebuke that. And we'll continue to do what we've been doing, and that's speaking our truths. That upsets people a lot. Um but the reality is they are sons, right? They are doing everything that we've ever done. Right? They could fight, just not in their own homes. They can fly their flags, just not in their own homes. You know what I'm saying? In my honest opinion, this is an invasion. Okay, is an invasion. It's been happening, and people have allowed it to happen, because they hate us so much. Period. People hate Americans. I have so many questions in reference to this oath of allegiance that these other immigrants have taken. I haven't had a chance to dig into that yet, but that is what I'm doing this week, because I'm trying to understand how any immigrant who came here and took an oath of allegiance to this country, would not be, at jeopardy of losing their livelihood here. They all should go home. It's disturbing at this point. But what should we be doing? I think we should continue to do what we're doing, mind our fucking business, continue finding and organizing our people. You know, America is we built this country. And so we don't have to fight with anyone else, right? In fact, people need us. And so what we need to continue to do is mind our business and allow those people to continue to mind their business like they've always done, because they absolutely are not American if they have not been fighting for the repair, and for the debt to be owed to Black Americans. If you haven't done that, then there is no get along or helping each other out. Go fight, go do what you do. We are going to stand down in our homes, in our communities, and protect our men, our women, our children, our elderly. I don't give a fuck about anyone else, any of you.
Okay,
I
so
don't
that's the
care.
second F word, April.
I said
No
two.
F
I'll
words.
send some. Dang, I'll, I'll put it in the jar. I apologize. Um, yeah. But so please stop suggesting that. Please stop suggesting this is the time for us to get together. No, it is not. This is the time where we adamantly and for real have to have severe nepotism and only for real, like our lives, because no one cared about our lives. No one cares about our lives. And so the reality is that we always survive. We're going to survive. At the end of the day, we will still be here at the end of the day. So get right or get left. You better realize who and what you're going to fight for, because it won't just be for you to be able to get through this. You better be ready to fight for real Americans, and that includes my payback. So don't be talking about, oh, let's fight together now. No, no, we're going to mind our business, and we're going to fight for our families, our lineage, our unborn progeny. That's what we've always done here. That's what we'll continue to do. No one else has ever done that with us. We're not going to start today. Peace be to the room.
Thank you, April. Appreciate that. Um, all right, so everybody got a chance to speak. Anybody could raise their hand if they want to say, "Oh, the black." Go ahead, the black. You did come back up. So
And
if you could
Day
just
has his hand up again as well after the black.
who?
Day.
Oh, I don't even see his hand. Okay, go ahead, the black, and then Day.
What's going on, Dana? Peter, everybody else in the room. Another day of FBA business and immigrants, you know. But hey, I feel like this is none of our business. It shouldn't be any real American business to be trying to fight and defend any immigrants. Unfortunately, people are trying to trick us and say, "Hey, we're going to be next," but I don't know about that. It sounds like a fairy tale because they've been trying to get rid of us for years. But I want to speak on the conscious Lee situation because he is a former teacher in my city. He,
What did he
he's
teach?
a DEI and
Oh,
intersectionality.
he taught
That's
some
his.
feminist bullshit. Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't mean you're an intellect.
This
Who was he teaching this to?
uh he taught it to a lot of high schools. Well, he mostly taught, like, he was a debate teacher, like a debate prepper. You know what I'm
Is this
saying?
in the
But
what tri-state area?
uh he was at a school in Arlington before he went to Houston. And then he used to go to Oklahoma
So he
sometimes
went
too.
to liberal
But he
districts. Okay,
yeah.
they pay well, so yeah. Mhm.
They do. Unfortunately, I mean, they say it's dangerous teaching black kids and inner center kids, so you get a little higher pay down here in Texas. But yeah, I look at it when it comes down to him. He seen the TikTok and all these other platforms really wasn't pushing the Democratic talking points like they was during the election. So the best thing to come over here is antagonize LBA and people who don't support Pan-Africanism. And hey, he's a smart guy. He capitalized on that because unfortunately on Twitter, we still haven't found a way to, like, ignore a lot of these people who try to clickbait us and draw us into their rooms just so they can get a little clout. But I don't think it's gonna last that long. He's gonna fall like everybody else, and get tired of arguing with us and finally see, like, yeah, we have a legitimate reason on why we feel certain ways, and we have certain sentiments towards immigrants and other white groups or just white people, period. And hey, this year is the year of, you know what I'm saying, building real coalitions and building bridges and understanding the path that we need to lay for the next generations, because we can't continue to let the next generation fight in this racial construct that we're in today, because it's useless. It's destroying our social construct and the rest of the world's social construct. So hopefully uh people don't feed into the cloud chase next time, or do. Hey, it's up to y'all, but it'd be better if you just actually get into outside and touch some grass and help some people in your community instead of beefing with people on Twitter. But I love y'all Negroes and white people.
Well, let me say this too about the conscious person. I want to bring in a faux black agents. So when you have these people that toot these DEI, intersectionality, um, talking points, right? And call themselves scholars and intellect, and that's what they teach. They're actually agents. Because what does DEI and intersectionality have to do with you belittling, denouncing, and disrespecting Black American legacy? And when a person starts doing that, and then they want to call themselves a scholar and they toot their resume, or they start having this intersectionality talking points, they're fucking agents. I don't care what they bloodline or their lineage is. They're just straight up agents. And so let me get on, Black Americans a little bit here, because yeah, don't let somebody bait you in, or what do you call it? Trigger you. Yeah, have the discussion, have the debate, but then not even so much I wouldn't even debate. What I would do is correct that person. See, you got to educate and correct people. People are entitled to their opinions and their perspectives and their ideology. DEI, intersectionality, is an ideology. Intersectionality, no matter what you're putting up against each other, the purpose is to wipe out something else. Intersectionality is not good, because you could do intersectionality with any goddamn thing and it's going to still wipe out the real cause at hand. That is why I don't deal with intersectionality, but you should understand it and study it. That's why I get rid of it. I've studied intersectionality, and that's why I know it's bullshit. But I say all that to say, anytime somebody has to sit up here and say, well, FBA, blah, 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 because you may not like Tariq Nasheed or whatever the case may be, so what if you don't like Tariq Nasheed? So what? But to disrespect the history of Black Americans, that's a problem. And I call them Black agents. And for the life of me, we have not come to discover or recognize agents when we see one. People think Peter is an agent. Why? Because he says he's a white Italian and he's always in Black spaces. That doesn't make him an agent. You don't know how to decipher between the two. And that's the concern that I have. Because I'm wondering, all these people on X this past weekend, Act Conscious, rooms with 100 plus of spaces. And I'm like, and I go to his fucking YouTube and I'm listening to him. It's like he's not talking about anything. He's just complaining. I don't know. So yeah, and I think parents, we need to be concerned about what your kid is learning in school, because you're not teaching my kid no goddamn DEI and intersectionality in high school or elementary. That's
And
just
Dana, all that comes out of the praxis surrounding Marxist ideology and exactly
This is the CRT.
Exactly what they want to push, and they want to press on the youth, and they want to make you think this is a battle for civil rights and they're part of the cause, when in reality they're trying to inject their ideology of Marxist thought and theology into your head, and then have the youth promote it. And that's why you're seeing, a lot of the things that you've seen in the last 4 years, because this is the result of them doing this for the last 20 years, more acutely than they were doing it before then in the higher levels of academia. It's trickled down now to the lowest levels, where they're saying now children could pick their own gender at at 2 years old, which is ridiculous.
right. And then I would like to know, whatever space he was in where people had the opportunity to speak to him, did anybody ever ask him a question or push back with him about migrants, the migrant crisis, the illegal migrants? Is he pro the open border? Was he pro or was he against it? Did anybody bring that up? See, I don't know who is.
He kept me in the queue.
Huh?
I sat in the queue for an hour waiting
See,
on him
Dana,
to
that
bring me up. He picked
he
and
no,
choose
he's the
Well,
who
he
black was
he
never
saying he
wanted
came to
kept
to
him
let
in
in
the
that
Twitter.
queue.
debate.
He didn't bring him up. He just kept him in
He
like the
never
queue.
came to Twitter though. That was the problem, is that he was monetizing, off of us. And, that is a problem, right? He started the debate here. He requested the debate here. But then he went on and was receiving, super chats, and he was getting paid. He
Yeah, he
used
was just engagement
um
farming.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's just
And
an
people
well
See,
that's
I was with
engage
you,
but
man.
him
that's
I
the
was
instead
name
of
of
with
the
you.
game.
forcing him to come to their platform.
Well, why?
I mean, look
How
at all the
about
clips he made
this? How about
after the
don't? That's the name of the game. Like you know, what I'm saying is
Facts.
because look, I'm live right now on my YouTube channel. But the thing is, I wasn't pressed for him to come on my shit. Just pick up your space and talk about him or rebuttal what he's talking about and promote whatever you got going on to get your shit out there.
It was
Listen,
so
this is about
aggravating to watch.
monetization. At the end of the day, this is a capitalist society. So he could talk that Marxist DEI intersectionality feminist bullshit, but he's about the fucking dollar at the end of the day. So again, get in where you could fit in. I am. I am.
Yeah,
You know,
that's exactly
he was part of them content creators that was getting paid by the Democrats. And all the content creators that was getting paid by them, they are either on Roland Martin now or on different liberal news channels.
But I ain't we're not gonna act like the guy ain't say some real points. You know what I'm saying?
I
What
never heard him, so I don't know what he said. And
he said a point about
he said a few
FBA
real
being
points.
compared to like white
Yes,
nationalism and things of that
yes.
nature. But I don't think that's too good of a point, honestly.
I
he
mean, why
wait, so
not?
let
If
me so this is okay, so Dolo's a new person, so I'll go to you, Dolo. So what did he said FBA first of all, FBA isn't a group, but
Exactly.
it's not an organization. So but he's saying FBA
He's saying
people
our ideologies were aligning with white nationalism as far as with the Great Replacement theory and things of that nature.
great replacement theory of what? Who are we replacing?
Like with immigrants, us not wanting
he was
immigrants
talking
here.
about black immigrants though. Y'all
So he's
focus
saying
towards
that
black
They
immigrants.
are
wait, I
replacing us.
want Dolo to talk. So he's saying that FBA people don't want to be replaced by black immigrants, and that's having white nationalist ideology.
Right. Yeah. He's
No,
saying
no, he wasn't saying
No,
that. But
he's
go
saying
ahead.
it's two sides of the same coin. Is basically what he's saying, right? Like in line with white nationalists saying there's a replacement theory. They want to bring these immigrants in to replace the white race and the white people. He was saying that FBA want to bring in quote unquote tethers to replace the FBAs, and
no,
that's
that's
not what he
not what
was.
he was saying.
Okay,
Now
then
he,
No,
just
he
he
was
tell us.
saying
basically
that we're
look,
you.
look, he basically saying that FBA got all the energy for black immigrants, but they don't have no energy for white nationalists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. So again, you don't know what you're talking about. That's why we don't like you to talk,
But it's the
right?
truth though.
Thank
That's
you.
the
Yeah,
truth.
you're
Because
not. You're just
we've
saying
been
that's not what he
fighting
said.
white nationalists for hundreds of years. Like the only reason why black immigrants or I'm sorry, melanated immigrants can even come over here and walk peacefully and live in their homes is because we've already fought and died. Please stop it. And it's all immigrants. The reason why y'all are so upset is because it affects you and you need us to fight for you and we
Nah,
are
nah. I'm
not.
I'm I'm
That is
I'm not
not
upset, April,
that is not a
because
white nationalist
hold
stance.
up though.
That is the
April,
stance of actually
April,
surviving and
April.
worried about our own selves.
Bro, just
We
let her
do not
finish.
care about any immigration and we don't care about the color of your skin. That is not white nationalism. That is us preserving who we are and only being concerned about our futures. People love to talk about how the black wealth is going to be at zero. Well, we are talking about our existence in the country that our ancestors built. We do not care about any of you immigrants. And the
That's
color of your
cool though.
skin no longer will save you. And us having that stance has nothing to do with white people. Y'all want to be accepted by white people so much. You care about what
No,
white
we
people
don't.
are doing.
No, we
You
don't.
care about them. We do not care. All immigration
This is
affects
what.
us.
But
And it's not
this is my whole
it's not
thing though.
about replacement for us as my as the brother Jubilee said. He made a good thread earlier. This is about the black displacement. It's about displacing us, removing us from where we are, right? Like even where the sections of LA, though they used to be black, we've been moved out of where we are and where we built. Please stop talking to us like we did not build this country.
We're not
Right.
Stop
saying that.
it.
We're
We
not
do
saying
Right.
not
that
And
y'all
have
then
to
didn't
care
build the
about
and
you.
then
country.
on
We
top.
don't care about
Yeah, I'm sorry for a second, guys. And I'm gonna go to Day did have his hand up. We supposed to go to Day, right, Peter?
Yeah, Day was next, but but I
Yeah,
I
it's
wanted to
because
hear
Mike.
Dolo's point because he was the new
Yeah,
speaker, and
I want to go back to Dolo because Mike about to go back down the fucking yellow brick road, which we had a discussion earlier as far as you don't claim that 25% and that it came out your mouth again. It just came out your mouth again that you disown that 25% of you. So I want Dolo to finish up and then we'll go to Day. And anybody want
Thank-
to request
I
to come
didn't
up, do
say
so.
that, Dana. That's not what I said.
I,
But
I
go ahead.
said you don't, and you just proved my point just now when you was going back and forth with April. But go ahead, Dolo. Then we're gonna go to Day.
Thank you. So yeah, basically the guy was just saying like with our anti-immigration, how we don't want illegal immigrants coming over here, that we are aligning with white nationalist ideologies with the great replacement theory and how they don't want immigrants to come over here as well. So that sums up what he was saying as well. So I don't know what this guy's talking about with the us wanting tethers over here. That's not what he said at all.
no, wait, I didn't say that. I was saying that they're both they're. I thought the argument
Not
he.
you, Peter, the other
Oh,
guy, the other
oh,
guy
okay,
saying it.
all right.
So real quick, thank you, Hannibal on YouTube. He says they successfully replaced FBA with Hispanics as the number two minority. Yeah. And that is because when you have certain people over here, it's for a particular reason. Now, I can throw in and say that we kind of did it ourselves with the 1965 or no 1967 Naturalization Act, to where we wanted the quota to be increased to the Caribbean and throughout the diaspora. And maybe we opened up what you call it, the hen house to the hen house to the fox and some shit like that. Maybe our chickens are coming home to roost because what we were doing to be pro black, to be one, these motherfuckers coming in now and disrespect us.
That's where they
So
came up with the people of color, right? They started including individuals that were coming in from Mexico and the other Hispanic countries as being people of color to then amalgamate and put everybody together. But ultimately, it was to generate more people for their own voting bloc, a permanent class of individuals that will only vote one way. That is why they brought them in, because they saw that the
yeah, but the
numbers went.
term color was already being used before the 1965-67 immigration naturalization law update.
Yeah, right,
Color
but
was
but
already there.
right, but wasn't their goal to fuse individual, like to introduce into the psyche or mindset of individuals in the community, black individuals, that these were people that they should be standing in solidarity with because they too are people of color. And then they use that to then say you need to support them because they're the same as you were in the past. And
It
basically
was well,
hoodwink
no, it
the
wasn't. It's
Democrats.
not that. It's not. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. What it was during that time of Black consciousness, whether you were a Native Black American or a Caribbean or even someone from from a country in a continent of Africa, no matter where you were from, right? If you were from the diaspora during that time, the conscious your conscious was different. With this, the what we're seeing now is the new wave of these black immigrants, early 2000s, late 1990s. Though these are, and so that's when it started, and this is what, and it progressed and what we see today. So what we advocated for and pushed for, fought for, bled for, right, to get these laws to increase our numbers because we were all in solidarity back then, turned it really ended up being used against us today, to where when you do look at Hispanics or when you look at other groups of people or whatever, they come in not so much displacing us, but don't even want to, they separate from us. And this is, let me just take Newark, New Jersey. It is a very segregated city still. You know, the Italians are no longer there, the Jews are no longer there, but you have blacks, you have the Portuguese, the Brazilians, and you have the Hispanics, and they all live in separate sides of the city. It is still segregated, and that is the largest city in the state of New Jersey. So a lot of it was by quote unquote design, but then it got to a certain point to where people are going to flock and build with their own and not fuck with nobody else. Now, do we go on the North Newark, where which is now heavily Hispanic? Yeah, as opposed to back in the day where it was a majority Italians. That's way before I was born when my parents were kids. Different type of vibe, different type of behavior, definitely different cultures, different public policies, different laws on the state and federal level, but the separation and the mindset was still there. Now you fast forward to today, still separated, you know what I'm saying? It looks like it's diverse on the surface, on a superficial layer, but when you dig deep, and this goes back bringing up the conscious dude, when he want to say we are acting like white nationalists. Well, again, when I say these black agents only focusing on black Americans, freedmen, whatever you want to call yourself, only focusing on true black Americans, you are an agent because you're not including every group that come here, whether they came here today or 50 years ago. They practice that same model. I don't care where you live at. I don't care if you are a bigot or not. Everybody, every group of people practice separation. And if you can't admit that, then we can never have a genuine conversation. That's just how America is. It was intentionally designed, not just in this country, but worldwide, because we are not the only country that practice separation. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Day.
I just wanted to say this last part and stuff. I wanted to say so everybody's talking about the somebody brought up the great replacement thing, whatever, and they said how that's a problem and everything. I can understand that, but like I live in California, right? I live in the Bay Area. I can tell you from as a child to growing up as an adult. I'm 29 years old right now. The area that I lived in when I was a kid, it was predominantly black and then white and stuff. It was a little bit of white and stuff. Right now, there's barely any black people. It's predominantly Hispanic. There's black people obviously in the Bay Area, but culturally we're not really here like that no more. So I feel like when it's like people just see things on the surface. They just see things like, oh well, I don't see the big deal. You know, they can come and provide for their family. Yeah, but when they come here, now we're just like you don't understand. The more they come here, that deletes our voting power. And it's like so the more presence they come here, the more it's like we might have like a black person that's like like a political leader here, but we don't have any say in like the in anything because the predominant group here is Hispanic, Asians and stuff. So it's like not only is the black population being affected, but also the white population. And like somebody else said that was early on here, I can't remember the gentleman who said this, but this is true. He said that it was Ronald Reagan that did the amnesty, and that's completely true. I was talking to some older family members, and they said similar that California. I would have never expected this, but they said that California back in the 80s was a very conservative state, which is very hard to imagine now. But half these people protesting, they shouldn't even be citizens because all their parents are illegal. Every single one of their parents are illegal. Not one of their parents came here legally. I can guarantee you that.
And
Well, you
that's why
don't know
they're going to
that,
fix
but
it. That's why they're going to fix it with the 14th Amendment. And that's why the Supreme Court is hearing it now to get rid of birthright citizenship and reinterpret it, what the 14th Amendment says about that.
what I want to say is we don't know that, but at the same time, we got a president that's so pro deportation, right? But brought in white immigrants from South Africa.
He only
Like
born in 49
it
and
don't
he made
matter.
it
It
clear.
don't it don't.
Hold on, hold the fuck up. Well, he born in 49 to whereas how many Haitians asylum and rightfully so asylum refugees, they were able to live here for damn near 5 years. And he said, okay, it's time for you to go. But he let them come here, build up their money, let them eat, and then you had to go back. The same with these white Afrikaners. But that's only 49. So stop the fucking cap, Mike. Stop. 49,
Remember
and
the
then he
debate? They're
tweeted.
eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. That was that
Right.
was
And he
great.
tweeted, and he admitted that is not a white genocide. And we all knew that was just Elon in his ear telling him to say it was a white genocide. Everybody knew it was a white genocide. Only an idiot really believed that it was a white genocide going on in South Africa. But Americans, we don't give a shit what goes on in other countries as long as it don't affect our bottom line here. We
But Dana,
are very self-absorbed here. We are about self. No matter what background you are, we don't care about other countries as long as it's not affecting us.
but Dana, but this is the point that the guy conscious was talking about. You feel me? When he brought those white immigrants in, you know what FBA was saying? Oh, we don't care about them.
We don't.
We don't care about them
Why
because
why should we
they
care?
not black. They
Why?
not black
Why?
immigrants.
Why?
What?
Why
Come
should we
on,
care?
man.
Why should we care?
Nobody
What you
Why
should
should
mean?
we
care.
Why
care,
should we
Mike?
care though?
Hold on,
So
hold on. And this is why I'm saying, Tariq. I swear to God, I hope Tariq Nasheed don't mention his name because that's what he wants. And if Tariq Nasheed mentions his name, I must make sure my ass stay up late because he like to do these late ass tap-ins on fucking Pacific time when it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast. But I'm gonna make sure I stay up and request to tell him you gonna say his name, but you ain't gonna say my name. Oh no, honey, don't say that nigga name because he is very irrelevant. And I have a problem. I'm upset that Marcel even mentioned him because Marcel is way beyond qualified. He shouldn't even be he don't Marcel does not have to utter the name of a person like that. So if that's the type of point he made, my nigga, he is not an intellect. He's not.
that's not the point he made.
He
But
brought no, no,
that's
no. He was using that to make a point. Anybody that
no.
want to
I
bring
made
up,
that point.
listen, Mike, don't cut me off. Let me say this. Anybody that brings up, well, y'all didn't say nothing when he brought in the white South Africans. The only reason why Black Americans, real Black Americans, I am gonna have to say freedmen. The reason why we don't care is because it was only 49, and we knew that was just pure politics. And then the
That's just a
man
start.
said that it's not a white genocide. 49 compared to 20 million. Are you retarded?
No, but that's just a start. At the
That
end
Yes,
of
ain't
the
it
day,
enough.
is.
Put
at the end of
Yes,
the
the
it
day,
F
though,
is.
word.
at the end of the
Write
day,
that F word, Dana.
if we against immigration so much, nobody should come then. That's
No,
my whole
I'm
point.
against
I don't care if they
illegal.
white. I don't
I'm
care
against,
what.
hold on. I'm against illegal immigration. See, a Black American never said they were against immigration. We never did. Illegal, yes. Now, those little 49, the reason why he did say white genocide, because he wanted to do it by the books, the legal way, asylum or whatever, whatever. But eventually you're going to get the fuck up out of here, just like everybody else. 49 compared to 20 plus million, you sound crazy. Go ahead, D, your hand is up. Give it a minute.
Did you see that Newsom asked Trump to rescind um what did he send out, the National Guard? I actually think we should just let them rescind it. I think they should just let this whole state just fall because they get what they deserve. I really do think that we should just like let them just fucking kill each other.
No, but
Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
there's a lot of good people in California that are stuck there because of these nut job idiots that
Well,
they let in. So we need to go and save them, basically.
Yes, and a lot of the streets and to enters and the highways and a lot of the buildings and a lot of the streets and property is federal property. So they got to come in if you are disrupting society. And if not at least to protect federal grounds or whatever. But it's and I get it. It's bigger than that. You have to come in and do your job or whatever. But
I get it. No, I get it. Trust me. But at the end of the day, this is what they voted for. This is who they want as their governor to continue to allow their citizens to get overrun by immigrants. Okay, let them. Let's see. Let's see how that works out for them.
well, it's not so much get overrun. It's the fact that the majority of people who are legal there, who can vote, they vote in their own kind. Look at who, okay, what does the state of California Senate, House of Representatives look like? What does the county, the cities, council, mayor's office, what do these people look like? What is the makeup of it? Look where the power is, and what do these people look like, and what is their agenda? So if they look like the people who are out there rioting, and then that could be to your point, D. Why not let them tear up that their state? Because their representation allows it. Their representation wants it. So I guess, yeah, that I would say that's a valid point. But at what point does the when is it time for the federal government to step in? Because going back to the year 1919, the federal government did not step in and help Black Americans, and they should have. So
And do you see what he said that everything was fine before Trump sent in the National Guard? Is he losing his mind, this guy? And do people really believe that everything was fine? I mean, it was way worse on Friday.
maybe I should change the title. Is Conscious Lee a Black agent? Why nobody had no space on that?
I mean, when you you know what I'm saying, everybody want to go at the guy, but when you don't agree with FBA,
Well, I
you
think
going
if you
against them.
put your nose,
You know what I'm saying?
if you want to put your nose in the business and you want to criticize, no, if you want to accuse a specific group of people of having a white nationalist ideology,
They do. They
that
do.
is that
They are.
that listen, stop. What? Stop. So we can't be talking over each other. Yes, I would say you are an agent. Lamar, let me ask you this question. When you have someone on social media using certain trigger words, doesn't that kind of notify the algorithm to look into specific groups?
Yeah, it does. It can ping. So I mean, it's no secret. I think it came out a lot more under President Biden, but the U.S. intelligence community actively monitors social media. It was, sorry to be long-winded. Snowden compromised some of this stuff, but it was since the '80s. Former NSA number two technical director William Binney compromised a program called PRISM, where essentially the NSA was hoovering up all domestic telecommunications information. And if you remember, and this is just an example, if you've watched the Jason Bourne movies, they had these outposts where CIA people were listening for certain code words. In the movie, it was I think Blackbriar or something like that. But when you use certain language on a phone call, in email, on social media, it can ping the system to go ahead and flag that individual or group.
Exactly. And then you see why he's out here saying what he's saying, wanting to get the attention of one particular person, but nobody is not holding spaces, questioning his legitimacy. Come on. Is he an agent? I think
Cut
he
it
is.
out, Dana. Cut it out.
I think he
Nah, a
is.
couple people
Now,
held spaces yesterday, like Riots and Marcel. They were calling him out, trying to get him to come to the space. But he's an agent, like you said. We really need to just
It's
ignore him.
no, he's not a.
all right, first of all, HB, we're gonna get to you, but please
Hey,
don't come in
Dana.
here hopping off your mic.
Hey, Dana. How you doing?
Hi. And everybody talking on the mute button. I guess it's a slight glitch. No, it's just a delay, but we are back to business.
Oh,
We are back to business. Everybody, please don't hear Mike. I am going to come get to you. I'm not calling for him to come up. I don't need to talk to him. I could talk about you. Is he an
what?
agent?
Oh my God. Hey,
I
first,
think
hey,
you're I,
April.
I think he's an agent. Let's have that discussion. But
So, Dana, what makes him
Yes,
different
Candy.
from terror?
I'm sorry, did I call on you, HB? Like,
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Thought it was an open forum. My bad.
I never said it was. And I did say, I said people could everybody spoke, people could raise their hands, but I do know when new people do come up, I do go to the new people. This is not the projects. I tell people this is not the projects. It's not. Shut up on Saturday mornings. That's Saturday morning projects.
Facts.
Why
All
you
right,
got to show out, Dana?
go ahead, HB.
First of all, shout out to you. Hi, April. Listen, his content. Everybody is a content creator. Dana, you're a content creator. Although you talk about real world shit, you still creating content. He's no different from that. This man has had his own platform for years. It's not new. He doesn't need clout. He has the same amount of followers you have. I think somebody called him a tether or something, and he decided to, you know, go this way, and thus this is what you have with everybody in debate shit. That's all. No more. No, he's not an agent, though, Dana. Come on.
How do you know?
Because I've been following him for years.
So how do you know he's not an agent? Just because
Be,
you follow him?
because he's doing what he does every day, debate
Did we
people.
know that Diddy was doing all these freak
Now,
offs? But we all listen to his music, so you don't know that.
that's one hell of a
But when
comparison,
but when
Dana.
people start using certain language, when people start accusing a particular group to have certain behaviors as a known domestic terrorist group or ideology or behavior, that's a problem. I'm going to question if you are an agent. And listen, when you step into certain arenas dependent on certain content, when you come on X, or if you want to talk about X, and you want to talk about FBA, or if you want to talk about Tariq Nasheed, when you start putting your toes in certain topics, then you got to be able to take the heat. And a lot of times people want that. That's fine. I'm not here to give him clout. I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck somebody, you know what I'm saying, who who is not a scholar, right? I don't know. I don't know who
He
he
is a scholar. He's a professor.
a
He
professor of
literally
what?
he
Oh,
teaches
I'm
at a
sorry.
college.
Wait,
Yes.
hold
This is
on.
what we
Just because you are a professor at
Oh my
college
God.
doesn't make you a scholar. And we already, Dolo did say he taught DEI and intersectionality, which is feminist bullshit. He taught that to high schoolers. That doesn't make
No,
you a
maybe he is
scholar.
high school.
Hold on. It doesn't make you a scholar. It makes you being paid by the left to promote an agenda. It's easy to teach intersectionality that you're not a scholar. That's not scholarship at all.
Damn. So what if I go? So if I go and accept a job as an adjunct professor at like night school for college, and I teach intersectionality or DI or CRT, does that make me an agent or whatever you're
No, it
trying
just
to?
makes you a person just regurgitating bullshit.
So
Shit,
okay
Marxist.
then, why can't he be the person that regurgitate
I'm saying
bullshit
he's an
then?
agent. I'm saying he's an agent when he's specifically saying that freedmen, FBA, ADOS, whatever the hell us black native black Americans call ourselves, when he specifically say that we as a group are practicing white nationalist ideology and behavior.
They talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that on here with each other. They say that in spaces, Dana.
So listen, when you throw that out there, listen, we have freedom of speech, then be prepared for what is thrown back at you. Be prepared for people to say, is he an agent? He sounds like an agent. He has agent behavior. He has agent but vocabulary coming out of his mouth. He has agent like content. You got to
Yeah,
be prepared for that. Not saying he probably doesn't give a f, right? But the fact is that this is a conversation, and he knew what could trigger people, and a lot of people got triggered. And I'm just trying to find out for the life of me, why did y'all get triggered over him? He's not a scholar.
So
right. I
The truth
honestly,
hurts. That's what it is.
real
The truth hurts.
real
Mute
quick,
up.
it took me 5 minutes of like going on his Twitter page, and I was like, yeah, this guy's just disingenuous. He's an agent. Clearly, he started showing off some type of high school debate championship national. He's very weird, a very weird guy. He's like a young Roland Martin type of guy. So he's definitely a joke. We shouldn't take him serious at all.
y'all, this dude been doing content for the last like 6 years. Where
It
the hell
doesn't
have
matter.
y'all
Okay, so
been?
so this is the thing. I
What
do
he's doing right now is
I
not
do
abnormal,
I do
Dana.
content. I do content for like there are billions of people that do content, and a lot of people who are successful at it. One of the things that we know, one of the things that make us successful, when you figure out what can trigger people emotions. TV does it, the news does it, content creators we do it. So the fact is that that does not make you anybody special. So again, he's not scholarly. He hasn't said anything that's scholarship worthy type of content. He's just really complaining about Native Black Americans, but he is literally trying to accuse Native Black Americans of behaving and taking on certain ideologies which are not true. But I need to go to Tampa Bay. Hi, Tampa Bay. You can unmute. Tampa Bay, you requested to be a speaker.
Tampa Bay, you got to come off your mic. You're mute. Open your mic.
That's
Peter, you sound like
definitely.
you're getting tired. How much time, honey, you got?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, I'm going to drop you in 5 seconds if you don't come off your mic.
Yeah, Tampa Bay look like an agent too. You tell
Three,
by the
Well,
profile
Tampa
2,
Bay
picture.
got an ICE
1.
agent as the logo, and I would want
Agent,
and
Tampa
I
Bay,
want to hear
go
Tampa
round them
Bay
up. Will you
talk
get down there
on
and
that.
round them up? Do something
agent, listen
useful.
to it.
See you later.
Agent, this
Yeah,
to
exactly.
William
Those the
O'Neill's.
Can I
agents I like. Those the
can I say something
agents
real
Bull.
quick?
I want. No, 1 second, Mike. Those the agents I want to see. You see the topic? You see the title? Yes, I want to see the ICE agents. Those the agents I champion. Are you Freeman HBC? Are you Freeman ADOS FB? What are you at HBCU?
I'm a black American.
Really? Do you have any immigrant background in you?
No, I do not, ma'am.
Okay.
My
Lord,
my my
Well,
family is
do you
from
got
Cosmosco,
25%?
Mississippi,
Is it
and
25%
if
on the
you
mic?
Dana, if I show you my family, we all look like we from the Congo. Stop it.
Oh, you're a Pan
we
Africanist.
down, yeah, we
Oh,
down South
wait. Are
Negroes.
you a Pan Africanist?
Yes, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because you said Congo, honey. I don't know what. I don't look like nobody from the Congo.
I said my
Oh,
family.
your
I'm
people
not.
look like they're from the
Yes,
Congo. Well, God
it
bless
was a
y'all, honey.
joke how dark we are. It's a joke
Well,
because we from the
I don't.
South.
I don't get it.
We are
But,
Southern Negroes, Dana.
but what does
Damn.
that got to do with the Congo?
It's oh god.
Thank you, Dana. God,
April,
he's
April, just say you love me and go back on mute.
where's
Damn.
your family from?
All right. Why she
He just
talking
said
shit?
Mississippi.
I'm talking to him.
Mississippi,
You.
Arkansas.
I want to say something though.
My dad's last name is a Scottish name. So y'all already know how that shit go. And my family got here in 1853, I think.
Do you think
Was
FBA is an organization or a lineage?
a trap house.
Straight up trap house. Straight up.
Really?
But I want to say what I want to say is, man, with the guy consciously right. What then can I
No,
speak,
no,
please?
because you love that he's teabagging you.
No,
You
nah,
don't just
no,
because
Oh
no.
you're
man.
being
Pause.
teabagged.
No
Pause.
Diddy.
No
You
teabag
Diddy.
wait. You
crazy.
But
want you
No
listen,
think
what
that
Diddy.
he
hold on because you're being teabagged. What you think that we're about to be teabagged too? No, we're not
You
swallowing
need to
that.
stop it,
We're not
Dana.
swallowing no bags. You hold those. You hold those tea bags, honey. We know he's your hero. We know.
You don't have to swallow, Mike.
Deshaun, I thought we put up a jar for you to go back to Africa.
First of all,
hey
no.
hey man. Listen, only person that's gonna be the teabag around here is me, for one. But
Dana's showing out tonight. I don't know
anyway,
what's happening.
what I'm saying is though, it's like this, man. Um, hey, y'all made me forget. Let me stop. Hold on. I forgot what I was about to
All
say.
I
Because
know is
it wasn't
Dana
important.
burning them
It
tonight,
was, but
Dana.
I
It
ain't. I
wasn't
forgot.
important. That's why. It wasn't important.
We got a
Well,
new
go
speaker
finish
on the
drinking your
stage,
tea.
Naheem.
Mike,
Go
the
finish
Let's go
point
drinking
to
your
is
tea,
Naheem.
you
Mike.
made no point. That's the point. You
I
made no
forgot what I was
point.
gonna say because it was a
I know.
good point. Oh,
Sure,
I
well,
forgot. I forgot. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's go to Art, then I'm gonna go to Naeem. Go ahead, Art.
look, I'm gonna address the title. I don't know if you guys got sidetracked from the title. Um, yeah, the Black Lives Matter wasn't FBA business. The majority of the motherfuckers out there was pales. So I don't understand how we keep getting tied to this shit.
That's cap.
Hey, sir, I have the statistics. I can put them in a thing
Oh
or
my!
send
I
them to
was
you.
there, Art.
You can
Them was
predict. You
Negroes
was where?
outside.
You was
I was
where? Stop
there,
it. You was in Chicago. Nobody cares about
bro.
you. Stop it.
And
Stop it. Stop
nigga,
it. Anyway, I got.
I literally went to
They already
fucking
put out the.
DC.
Okay, HB and R, I said this right before y'all came. This is not the projects. The projects is Saturday morning with Shut Up. This is not. We don't do the F word. I give people one opportunity to say one curse word. It cannot be the F word at all. And you know your mic when somebody is talking, when they're finished, and you can rebut. Art's time. Thank you. Go ahead, Art.
Yeah, they track cell phone records, so there's a lot of data on this. I can post the data if anybody wants to see. They did way more than one study on it and reassessed it. The majority of people out there were more pale than not, or not Black American. That you know what I'm saying, could be Africans, could be Spanish, it could be anything, could be white. Just wasn't Black Americans. That's what I'm trying to point out. So like I don't understand why that's such a complicated thing. So when all these riots are going on, um, I don't even remember the last time. The first LA riots in '92, like that was the last black. Was that the last black one? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that's the last actual black one was the LA riots, Rodney King.
Well, what
So is
about
your
2020, the summer of love?
That was Pales, Peter. Well, you're not paying attention. I can give you all the information you need.
so are you think only pales? I
No,
mean,
you're,
only
you're right
black
about that.
people should have been
Yep, you're
angry?
right.
HB, I think everybody needs to stay on your mic. Art, finish what you were saying so you can land.
Yeah, well, I was just answering Peter. He is the co-host, so I didn't want
I
to be
know.
rude.
So everybody else, stay on your mic. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right about that. I apologize.
Yeah. I'll let the actual last black one that was, predominantly black people, like where you could be like, yeah, that was black people. You know what I mean?
Are you done?
Yeah. That was the one I had to title. Oh yeah, and I
Yeah,
want
that was not. Was
wait,
that
hold on.
92? You said it was 92. The
Yeah,
last one.
92, Rodney King.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But
Yep.
for HB, look, man, uh, there's no way you're looking at that dude as he's not some kind of agent, bro, or something. Because I posted information under what his thing. First of
He's a
all,
provocateur. Can we use that word?
no, because when you use the racial construct, knowing there's only one group on the planet that's being ethnicided, I put you in the same spectrum. He called us white supremacists.
All right, y'all say that in
Hold on,
spaces to
HB.
each other.
Hold on.
You said it to me.
Hold on. I call
What the
them,
hell?
hold on. I call them melanated Nazis because they share the same ideology as Nazis. They
Okay,
literally
that's
cite,
different.
hold on, stop it. They literally cite Nazis. That's why when you tell them to cite something, they won't cite nothing because I can post some of the pictures. This helper dude and a whole bunch of other people, this racist helper, I can't remember his first name it starts with an R, but my point being is they cite actual racists, dude. Everything was short of the Nazi handbook, like the Mein Kampf, like they might as well just cite that too, because they cite everything else. So, like, bro, like, but how are you gonna share the idea of a melanated Nazi, or literally all your favorite people is named Blumenbach or Francis Boyega, the guy that made Race? Like, these are the people you believe in. So how you gonna and then, bruh, I'm just gonna land it there because it's like to me, it's weird that this man is gonna project on us what every Pan-African is. You are the polar opposite of a white supremacist. You believe in the same infrastructure, the same divide 8 billion humans into 5 to 7 groups. It's the same babble. Like, tell me it's not. They use the same rhetoric.
Okay. Naeem,
Peace. What's going on, Sister Dana? Shout out to everybody in the
how
room.
are you?
I'm good. I just came up briefly to speak about the consciously dude. We were supposed to have a debate the other night. Shut Up has set up a space, and I guess I'm like you. I'm not necessarily a fan of shut up spaces, but um, he agreed to come into that space and
Well,
have
let
the
me.
debate.
I didn't say I was not a fan per se, but I told shut up. His spaces are the projects, and sometimes I do partake in a ratchetness, but
Oh yeah,
I
no,
don't.
Be the main
I
one.
go in there and crack a 40-ounce bottle sometimes
Right,
as well.
right.
So I feel you. But yeah, and this guy never showed up, and then the next day
he made live stream calling for certain individuals, especially Brother Marcel, but he would ignore me, right? He would see my comments in his live. I was correcting him in real time about the things that he was saying about the Dred Scott decision. You know, I mean, I would like to have the debate with the guy because if he's a professor and he's teaching students what he's teaching them about the Dred Scott decision and birthright citizenship, he is severely misinforming them. And, you know, I just want to bring this dude to heel real quick because I've been debunking those talking points for about 12, 13 years now. That's all I really came up here to say. This guy's no scholar at all. And if anybody on this stage thinks he's a scholar, I'll drop a link for y'all to come on BTP tomorrow night and we can have the debate about it. I'll read from my
Drop it for
sources.
me. Drop it for me.
Who said that?
This is Mike, the King Michael. Drop it for me.
King Michael. All right. Follow me. I ain't never hear you before. But yeah, we could do that. Definitely. Matter of fact,
hold on,
I'll let
Naheem.
you
Naheem,
I'll
you see
let you
how
beat it. What's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I'm just finna say, you see how he jumped right on that link? He wasn't scared. A lot of niggas was scared yesterday to click that link and go to StreamYard. I ain't gonna hold you, but they be
Well,
talking shit in these spaces.
who was scared though? I
Yeah,
don't go on other people's
well, you,
platforms
Nobody
but
like
you,
was
that.
not
scared,
you,
bro.
not you, not you. You said you made
He
it clear you didn't go. I'm
wait.
just talking about
He
Right.
people
he
on the
made the
app.
challenge on Twitter and didn't
It
come on
don't matter.
Twitter.
You
Shut
niggas
up,
was
man.
scared. Y'all was scared.
You know
Y'all was
how you gonna make
scared.
a
That's
challenge
what I'm
on
saying.
Twitter
Y'all
and
was
then
scared.
avoid
They was
Twitter?
scared.
Like what
He
Shout
the
out
called
to
him
fuck?
out.
Michael.
He called him out, and they
Michael
ain't
didn't
step
run
up to
from
the
the
plate.
fade. He jumped right on the link. He ain't run
How
That's
you
from
go
the
to
fade.
that's what I'm
Clubhouse
You
make
talking
a
about.
niggas,
threat
you
and then
niggas
be
want
like,
you
nah,
niggas
I'm
want
not
to
gonna do this
babble
on
to each
Clubhouse,
other
huh?
all day. That's the problem. You want to
So
babble to
wait a
each
minute,
other.
Michael. You agree or disagree with the conscious lead dude?
I agree. Like,
Oh yeah. All
and
right,
what
I'll
why?
make an example out of you then.
Listen,
Make
I'm gonna
sure
tell
you hear
you.
me out.
Listen. This is my whole point, right? This is what I have forgot to say. FBA, right? And we just talking about
I don't
FBA. We ain't
represent
talking about Black
FBA.
Americans,
Hold
right?
on, I don't represent FBA at all. I just want
All
that to
right,
be clear. But go ahead.
all right, but what he's saying is basically like, you feel me? FBA, right? I'm just giving an example. Y'all want to blame the white people first, right? Y'all blaming white people first. I give you that. I give you that. We could blame all the white people for everything they done did. But now y'all want to blame immigrants and me. I know for a fact I've been in America all my life. An immigrant has never affected me not one day of
Well,
my
what does that got to
life
do with anything? Immigrants are
Or
good for any
me,
native
because
population.
especially black
this is what
Immigration
he's
ones.
do
getting
math,
at.
sir. Did
This is what
immigration
he's
help
getting at.
Africa,
See,
sir?
y'all don't like the truth.
Did
Now
immigration
y'all
help
riled up. Y'all don't
Africa,
like the
sir?
truth,
Answer
bro.
the
An
question. Did
immigrant has
immigration
never
help
affected me
Africa?
not one day in my life, bro.
Answer the question. Did immigration help Africa, sir?
What do you mean did it
It's a
help
simple
Africa?
I,
question. Did
Well,
immigration
we
help
talking about
Africa,
America.
sir?
We talking about America. I ain't talking about Africa. We
Again,
talking about America.
so now,
We talking about America. But
so
listen, an
immigration
immigrant
can be
has
bad
never
for
affected
everywhere else
me
but
not
America.
one
Is that
day
what
in
you're
my
saying?
life, bro.
You make no sense,
Not
bro.
once.
You wouldn't spread this immigration babble
I
to
am making
any other
sense.
group. Was
How? Okay,
immigration
okay.
good for
All right, listen. Hold
Australia?
up, hold up, hold
Was
up,
it
hold up,
good
hold
for
up,
the
hold up.
Australian
Hold on,
Aboriginals?
bro. Hold on,
yo,
bro.
Just
one at a
stop it, bro.
time, man.
Hold on.
Just
How
stop it.
has an immigrant, if anybody can come on this mic, how has an immigrant affected you? Tell
No,
me.
Okay,
be
sir.
specific. A black
You
one.
you
Say
you
A
a
you
black
black
one
literally
at
immigrant.
that.
dodged the
A
question
Oh
black
and
one. How has
can't
no.
it
answer
affected you?
one. You
If
you
you're
dodged my
Answer my
question and
question.
saying
Answer
answer
my
yours.
Wait, hold on, because the only thing y'all doing is talking over each other. Michael, are you talking to Art? And has to, and if that's the case, the conversation just has to be between you and him. I have three people in queue waiting to come up, and apparently I can't bring them up because it's saying an error, Peter. I don't know if one person should drop
No,
down.
you can't. We can't bring them up because I have to drop speakers. So I'm going to drop some people who have already spoken. I'll bring you guys back
Okay.
up.
So Art and who was it? Art and who was talking? It just has to be between you guys, Art and Mike. So
I was asking the room though. How has an immigrant affected you? Dana, how's an immigrant affected
who
you,
said
Dana Peter?
I never said that an immigrant affected me. Nobody affects me. What I'm talking about, see, you're talking about one-on-one individual. I'm
Yeah, anecdotal.
yeah, and we are talking about as a collective. When you how did the 20 million plus illegals affect me? Oh, it affect me because I don't want my taxes going towards them. It affect me because crime goes up. It affect me because resources that American people need to be having access
Dana.
to are going to them. So that's how illegals affect me. Now we want to talk about specifically black immigrants. Well, if any black immigrant say anything that's disrespectful to my lineage, you're affecting me because what you're saying is disrespectful and it's not true. And then I'm gonna just have to check you and educate you. But if you think that you're gonna come in and do what? And which sometimes people do practice to push you out the way, or whether it's out of power or out of influence where you live at, yeah, then I would have a problem. But I don't go around saying, oh, because you're an immigrant you are affecting me. No. And maybe you need to work on that question, because that's a low
But
educational question right there.
no, because hold on, Dana, the first thing you said was my tax dollars, right? Your taxes, right? You remember now we have Doge. Your taxes was just going to a whole bunch of freaking politicians that was
What
looting,
is that gonna do with
looting
that
everything.
one?
What they got to
Yeah,
do
but that
with
doesn't
is
mean
what they
anything.
got to
That
do with
does,
is stop trying to cut
All right, he was talking. Everybody still on your mic.
your tax dollars is going to go to whatever the country says, no matter what you do.
Legally, it's not supposed to go to illegals. Hence the word illegal.
But you don't have no control of where it goes.
And that's the problem. Now, wait,
Remember now, it was.
hold on, because you don't understand how our Constitution, how our federal government works. Because the tax dollars are not supposed to go to illegals. That's against the Constitution. That's illegal itself. So you saying that I don't have say so? Yes, I do have say so. Every citizen has fucking say so, especially when you are a homeowner. See, this is why you're always going to basically get stomped on, because you don't even understand how America works. So to sit up here and say that you don't have say so, no, we do have say so on a state level and a federal level. And the main say so is what's legal and what's not. Our tax dollars are not supposed to be funding illegals, period. And that's what happened under the Biden administration. So we do have some new speakers. Who was it? The black, and then Nat, and then who else?
Yeah, that was first, then the black.
Wait,
Okay,
wait.
so
Uh,
Can I
Nat,
ask Dana a question really quick, please? 10 seconds. What about our tax dollars going to asylum seekers?
um, is asylum seekers illegal?
No, they're not. And so I asked that question for a reason because people try to use those two
well, they're not citizens. I
interchangeably,
agree
and they're
with you. I
not the
don't think.
same thing.
I agree with you. I don't think they should. The money should be going there either. Asylum
No, the
seekers
thing
are
is with
not
asylum seekers, we are only
citizens.
allowed to bring in 200,000 asylum seekers annually. It's a cap. It's a cap. Everything has a fucking budget.
Send the asylum seekers to Guantanamo
So
Bay.
no, no,
Let them
no,
stay
because
over there.
asylum seekers, that's been a thing. It's a budget. It's a budget. So the fact is that when you say that these 20 plus millions are all asylum seekers, which they are not, again, you are practicing illegal measures. As when I'm talking about these politicians, they're breaking the law. So they're not asylum seekers. We have a cap. So my tax dollars, state, federal, all combined, it goes to different budgets.
But see, my whole thing is with that is this: whether the immigrants is here or not, you still gonna have to pay that 30%, that
no, we
25%
don't. No, we
That
out
has
your
don't.
nothing.
check.
What
All right,
Yes, you.
listen.
But
All
happens?
but
right, no. I gotta
Mike,
rotate
it
to the
doesn't make sense.
speakers. I gotta.
Let me just finish, Jana, real quick. It should be going to things that benefit us. It doesn't benefit us to have these people here. It only is a detriment to us. They take away from us. It's our, I'm sorry, it's our money. Why should we be giving it away to let these people stay in hotels with free food and free phones and free healthcare and all this other crap for them to denigrate the country and then burn things down? It doesn't make sense. The 30% that we pay should be going to help ourselves and make the community better.
30%. Who the fuck is paying 30% in taxes? All right. Nobody's paying
Well,
30%
that's
in.
what you pay. No, if you're a wage earner, that's basically what you're paying. If you're a 1099, you have your own business, then you're not going to pay that much. But earners, Dana, are paying that much money, if not more. New York, they're paying almost 50% of their income in taxes between federal and state and New York City taxes. It's insane.
I don't know. All right. So who was it? It's Nat, then the black, Nat the
Yeah,
black,
Nat, then the black,
and then
and then
Okay.
the
Naheem
black.
has his hand up again as well.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. To that guy that was saying like, how do immigrants affect us? Well, if you look at the Black America, I don't know how many states or cities you ever lived in, but I lived in quite a few. I lived in the Midwest. I lived down south. Um, lived basically the Midwest, south, and the North. No matter what city you live in, you go to a Black American neighborhood, our basic needs and our basic wants are basically controlled by these immigrants who get business loans and commercial space under the name of minority and people of color, and they get first dibs. So whether it's a tobacco shop, even a nail shop, a local little fast food place, a liquor store that brings in lots of money. Not saying that we need to be owning, drinking liquor, but it brings in lots of money. The corner stores are all controlled by these immigrants, and some of them are first gen or second generation, and they get those loans under the name of, not under the name of being in Afghanistan or being from Libya or being from Mexico. They get it under people of color, black, and minority. So the guy that was saying he's never been affected, I guarantee you, if you ever try to go get a license, a liquor license, or try to go get a tobacco loan to get a tobacco shop, I guarantee you'll be last on that list, or you ain't even got
My
it.
whole thing
And I
is
guarantee.
my whole thing is
Hold on, let me finish. I'm
Did
about to
you?
land. I'm about to
Can you
land.
please stay
I'm
on
about,
your mic? Like it's not that
yeah,
hard.
I'm about to land because I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I was on the scene from day one when the George Floyd riots kicked off. And a lot of those people that wasn't Black American, they were just opportunists. Like I was there, I seen it from my own eyes. They were just opportunists going to steal and loot, packing their cars up and getting off the scene. So, but that's all I wanted to say for that guy who said that he never
can
been
I
affected by immigrants.
can I
That's all I'm
rebuttal
gonna
real
say.
quick, Dana?
Actually, no, because I don't understand if why the fuck can't people wait until somebody finish?
I'm sorry.
Why do y'all feel the need to hop off your mic in the middle of somebody talking?
I thought he
Like
was done. I'm
I
sorry.
really do think people are touched with a little bit of retardation. I really do, because it's not that fucking hard.
I'm
All
sorry.
you
That's
need
I'm
to
not
do
sorry.
is
politically
somebody
correct,
finish,
Dana.
I'm
you
sorry.
can fucking rebuttal.
Can I
No,
re-
you're not sorry because you are HB and a whole bunch of other people. Y'all keep doing the same shit.
Dana, you know I respect your space. I'm sorry, but what I want to say is, boom. What's stopping you from doing everything that they done did? It's like get your money up, not your funny up, bro. Like me and my cousin the other day, we were just talking about getting a Circle K. They only want $25,000 down to get a Circle K. What's stopping you from doing that? Come on now. Ain't no immigrant in your way. Get your money up, not your funny up. Whatever you got to do. If you got to do it illegal or legal, get your money up, nigga. That's what I got to say.
Okay, Darren, can I respond real quick? Okay, so he said the other day him and his cousin was about to get this
We talking about getting a Circle K. Yes.
let me talk. You talked about it, but guess what? You ain't got it. So don't tell me to get something that you ain't got and you probably not finna get. Now, it
Projector.
doesn't matter. Hold on, let me tell you this, because it doesn't matter how much it costs, or what does matter is when you go down there, they go off of your name. The Somalians up here, they got businesses that they don't even have customers. What these people are doing, they'll just take up space
and put somebody in that space. Because if you go, like, I'm in Minneapolis, the north side of Minneapolis on Broadway, which is a Black American, you know what I'm saying, Black American neighborhood, they brought the U of M. They brought the U of M was way on the other side of town. They brought a research building over there. Then they put the public schools headquarters over there. All this in commercial property space. So it's not about getting your money up. It's about stopping Black Americans from circulating their
And
dollar,
that's what I'm
just
talking
like
about.
they did. Hold on, let me talk. Let me talk real about the land. Because if you look at Black Wall Street, guess what? Wasn't no Korean hair salons, wasn't no Arab corner stores. The black dollar was circulating. So then in Minneapolis, St. Paul is the Twin Cities. You got the in St. Paul, the 94 highway got built through the black economic space over there. Then in Minneapolis, 35W got built through the black economic space over there. 35W got built through the neighborhood where the George Floyd store was at that the Arabs now own. Now, what they did after that, soon as they knocked out all the black businesses, the only people they were giving the commercial space and the loans to, you couldn't be no Black American. So you talking about getting your money up? People got their money up, they just getting denied. And I'm just gonna land right there.
So you
Yeah, I'm
saying
gonna
that?
say
So
this.
you saying the
Hey,
government? So you
and
saying
Michael,
people
I'm gonna say this.
is stop?
Yo, y'all gonna stop with the hopping off the fucking mic. So, thank you, Nat. Who was next? The black, right?
Yeah, the black.
All right, I'm gonna go to the black. Mike, I had enough of you. Just sit tight for a minute. I want to hear other people talk. Oh, Naeem dropped down.
Yeah, so it'll be the black, and then it'll be what up, though?
All
What
right,
up, though?
go ahead, the black.
It might be a double mute.
Yeah, it was a double mute. So I'm gonna address this. See, I'm out here in Los Angeles as well, where all the riots taking place. I'm gonna speak to Tyler. LA ICE riots are not foundation of Black American business. Yeah, it's not our business because out here in Los Angeles, I'm gonna also put something else with Jumbotron. It's a long story list that all these Hispanics out here in LA has did to our people, and then the Democrats actually was facilitating the erasure of Black people in Los Angeles. Though everybody know about the LA City Council racist leak that happened 2 years ago. You had Nori Martinez, Kevin De Leon, and also that's very of a coincidence how you had the head of the labor union just got arrested by ICE too. That's the same organization that was plotting to take Black people away from getting jobs though. So we telling our people stay home. That's not our fight though. We don't care about Hispanics, other groups getting bruised and beat up because for a long time these Hispanics would do all types of racial targeting against Black people all throughout Southern California. You go in places like LA, Southern California, these Mexicans allied with the neo-Nazis to go against Black people in Southern California. Same thing on a political level. They ally with the white supremacists to go against Black people on the political level too as well. So yeah, these people are not our allies. They gotta hold their own battles, hold their own candle, hold their own churros, whatever the hell you call that though. And for Michael to talk about that situation out here about money up, we got money up. They can tell you that you don't know nothing about Black American achievements though and Black American struggle though. Because out here in Los Angeles though, everybody know about the Crenshaw Mall, right? For y'all that's around living in California, we raised over $119 million to buy the Crenshaw Mall and I think a Schwarzman. We raised $4 million more than the white boy. They still gave it to Schwarzman though. On top of that though, so all that was systematically sabotaged though. There's no way on God's earth that we raised $4 million more than the white boy. We outbid the white boy. They still gave the white boy for $4 million less. That we went all throughout New York and also in north side Chicago, demanding him to release the mall, and he refused to, though. So it's a lawsuit going on behind that too. And also, you got this tattered immigrant woman from Honduras, though, trying to build a studio, trying to gentrify our community. So these immigrants are a huge problem, though. So I'm in support of Donald Trump getting these people up out of here, though, because these people been extremely anti-black towards our people since the 80s, though, since they've been coming out here in mass numbers like that. And the Democrat Party is actually facilitated in our racial, especially in California, New York, places like Florida, though, what other places? Minnesota with the Somalis, though. But you understand that is that a few years ago, a Somali immigrant was attacking Black Americans out there in Minnesota, though. So and also is that during the 2020 pandemic happened, them Somalis took over $100 million and sending most of that money back to Somalia instead of take care of the Black Americans that was here, though. So these immigrants are a huge problem in this country. I put this in Jumbotron about arguing with this newscaster trying to say that Trump sending in 2,000 National Guards to Los Angeles, which is true. They out here in Los Angeles right now, mainly in downtown and Compton. They out here now. So, and also the United States Marine Corps from Camp Pendleton to San Diego, they on their way too as well. Because they said that the National Guard's not enough, so they about to send in the Marines in Los Angeles. So we about to be under assault court martial law within a few days or so. And Karen Bass, she's about to have a mercy meeting on Monday, talk to all the state leaders, talk about how to file lawsuits to stop the National Guard though. So you actually seeing a conflict going on. And also you had Maxine Waters today trying to see that Hispanic immigrant whip out the Black people that's facing homelessness in the city of Los Angeles though and unemployment. It mostly done by these Hispanic immigrants though. You don't see Congress Maxine Waters talk about reparations, talking about an anti-Black hate crime bill. And I put this in Jumbotron is that we're actually, let me put this in Jumbotron now so y'all can understand that Hispanics represent over 50% of the population in LA. They commit most of the hate crimes against Black people though in the city of Los Angeles though. So these Hispanics are not our allies though. So I'm in full support to get rid of them though. We gotta keep an eye on this though because you got the Democratic shields back to that Concha situation. That's some Democratic shield talk more and say FBA is a co-ed hate group and all that other bullshit because have y'all knows this a big coincidence or right before all them ICE raids protests start going on the last 3 days all throughout the country real strong, all of a sudden these Democratic shields start talking about FBA hate group all over again right before the deportation. They not seeing us in mass numbers caping for them though, Foundation Black American Freedmen. So I'm glad that they trying to shame us. We not supporting though. They gotta hold their own churros to hold their own jollof rice though too, because we tired of fighting for everybody's struggles now reciprocated. Just like you had that Jamaican immigrant and King Michael, because I know you're Jamaican though. You had a Jamaican governor out there in Maryland that actually vetoed the reparations bill for Black people in Maryland. Also, you got the Jamaican lieutenant governor with some seers that telling Black Americans to forget about slavery though. They tell the Jews not to forget about the Holocaust. That's totally disrespectful though. Same thing, you had that Jamaican person that's part of CLBC said we're gonna fight for immigrants and fight for Black America issues out there, Foundation Black Americans out there in New York City. So yeah, these immigrants are a huge problem though, because they all in our politics trying to undermine us on the state, local, and federal level. Also, they undermine us in the entertainment industry too when it comes to hip hop though. But that's for another story there and there. But that's all I got to say though, because I'm on the ground out here, and the National Guard, Trump ain't playing though. And also, what they plan on trying to do on Monday is that they trying to get a federal judge to file an injunction and stop the United States Marine Corps and stop the National Guard from leaving though. So
Vanguard,
that's going to happen real
I
soon.
put it in the nest. They're not going to be able to do it, and the reason why is that it looks like the president is probably going to be invoking extraordinary authority from what's called PED, Presidential Emergency Action Directive, which is classified. So there, I don't think the courts are going to be able to step in to prevent this because if the president does use those powers that he does have, they could blow and talk till they're blue in the face, but the president does have the authority to do this, especially if there is an insurrection, and that's what he's doing is putting this down. And he didn't bring the guard in under the Insurrection Act. I put it in the nest from Annie Jacobson. POTUS invoking Title 10 authority to federalize and deploy 2,000 California National Guard without invoking the Insurrection Act, plus with violating the Posse Comitatus means he must be invoking an extraordinary authority, perhaps from Presidential Emergency Action Directive, all of which are classified. So I think we have to stay tuned, and they're going to clean it up. Like you said, they're not playing around. This is not going to be another summer like 2020. And I think it's even more dangerous than what we saw in 2020 because there are all military-aged men dispersed throughout the country. I'm sure they're Chinese agents. I'm sure there are agents.
Yeah, over 20, 30 million people flooding this country under the Biden Harris administration.
Yep.
That's more than most countries. That's more than small countries though.
Yeah, we had the enemy within the last 4 years, and they literally subverted everything related to what made this country great. And I think Trump's going to right this ship. So I'm confident in it, and I hope you stay safe out there, man.
Yeah, because it's going down out here though, man. Because they did a couple ice raids in Inglewood. They did one at the SoFi Stadium. They did one off of Crenshaw, Manchester, near that big lots and that rallies over there. Also, they did one in Compton, Paramount, Home Depot. They hit a spot in Chinatown. Yeah, they real deep out here though. So they blocked the 101 freeway though. So it's really going down though out there though. And also is that, like I said before, is that the National Guard, the United States Marine Corps is on their way too. They about to be deployed within a day or two. So because they said even the National Guard's not enough to contain that situation.
Yeah, Lamar,
So
if you're still here, Lamar, if you could speak to just quickly how long you think it would take for the military to mop up some of these people in that area, and then
and I heard the military
turn to
they
other
started
areas.
the National Guard. They started to arrest some people now too. The
Well,
National Guard. Though.
just really quick, it would depend on the rules of engagement. So, obviously, I don't want to see this. The worst case scenario is the authorization for the use of lethal force is provided. Obviously, if it got bad enough, it could go there. I think you deploy, Marine Corps, National Guard. They'd have to lock the city down. This is where it starts to get uncomfortable, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but under those presidential authorities that fall under what's called Presidential Directive 51, it gets real ugly really fast. And this includes everything like tracking cell phones, turning off cell phone towers to degrade communications, bringing in national technical means, which is basically IC speak for all of the tools that we use abroad to track terrorists or foreign threats are turned inward, and you start doing things like network analysis and going after people. I think for a city as big as Los Angeles, you're still looking at a month. I mean, it would get ugly really fast. It would get ugly within a week, but to round up all the people that you would be trying to get after, it would take a while.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, about that situation of what's going on over there is that it's nothing that Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom or the Los Angeles, the county government could do nothing about it on the federal level, but they might try to fight against it though. And then they talk about arresting Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom if they continue further though. Be just like they did that Congresswoman in New Jersey, and just like they did them two judges in New Mexico and Wisconsin though. They locked up a state judge in New Mexico and the county judge in Wisconsin, though, and also like they put charges on the congresswoman out there in New Jersey, though. So yeah, he definitely ain't playing this round, though. That's what I was telling our people is they were trying to get us to go out there to be the crash dummies, though, so we could take the fall of it, though. They were trying to make us the face of it. I'm glad our people didn't fall for that. Then I'm kind of glad we did. So I'm gonna allow other people to speak.
All right, who was next?
I think it's what up though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead. What up, though?
What up? What up? What up? Just how everybody doing? This is like my 10th page, so shit, ain't it? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
What up,
Yes.
though?
What up, though? Shit, I'm up in the D. I used to work in Minneapolis too. I heard dog talking about that shit. I was working for the train up in Metro Transit up in that motherfucker. And yeah, I'm up in
Oh, yeah, we
Detroit though.
don't use the F word. We do not use no F words up
Oh,
here.
my bad, my bad. I was working for the trains up there, so it's the plot up there is just like every other city. You're getting replaced by immigrants in this new America. See, we still trying to get stuff from the old America, but they been lost this place. They lost it during the riots, during the civil rights era. You know what I'm saying? After the 70s, that's when most of our generation was born. And as a penalty of the riots, that's when the dope and stuff came in. You know what I'm saying? And that messed up the time frame for when we were supposed to strike. Because after the riots, the white folks backed up. After the civil rights era, the white folks backed up. So their offensive on the white folks side was propaganda, mass incarceration, drugs. That was a time we was supposed to have struck economically from the 70s up until now. You know what I'm saying? So they put so much stuff in our way. Excuse me. They put so much stuff in our way and scatterbrain our generation. That's why you see a lot of kids not going to school, even though there are a lot going to school, a lot graduating, but the ones who aren't are the ones who are opening up the doorway for immigrants to come in. And that's what they banked on. You know, you got a kid selling crack, kid robbing, even though you got kids are going to school, but them one or two that ain't going, that's when the immigrants come in and they take our spot. So that's what they bank on. They bank on that negativity. That's if you draw it out in the pie chart, in the pie circle, and you mark out, you know, how many people are doing this as opposed to how many people doing that, and you see the people who are doing that are more productive, but outside forces are concentrating on the people who aren't. You know what I'm saying? That's their way to get in. So the immigrants is none of this stuff is our business. Never was, never will be. You know what I'm saying? Our generation came along, it was all into this we shall overcome aftermath. You know, we forgot it was still a war going on. Our generation came along, forgot these white folks will bust your head open if you let them. You know, so we just got to get back to just stepping back and just letting them go ahead about their business. You know what I'm saying? We had a little fun, you know, had a little Jay-Z air, gang bang air, the Crip and Blood, GD folk, Big Meech, get money air, but it's over with though, you know what I'm saying? So we got to just check ourselves now because we got an opportunity to strike right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So you know, just pump your brakes and let them go. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Like even in Detroit, if you ain't got a college degree, you can actually go to college, 4-year ride, courtesy of the mob, right now. So they got they by law, by right, they have to open the door, but by right, they can't trick you to be a thug. You know what I'm saying? So they still doing the, you know, they still getting their numbers up. We lost how many kids since 1970? I'm 49, so I grew up in Detroit. So we, you know what I'm saying? We were, it was 100 big meets here. You know what I'm saying? Maseratis and stuff like that. So we grew up in that area. You know, not the gang bang. You know what I'm saying? So we saw so many kids die from 1980 up until now. You know, just imagine, and you know, just imagine if they wouldn't have died. If the good didn't die. I'm pretty sure some of y'all lost some folks who was good kids and got killed. So that's what they banking on. So we gotta just check ourselves and be like, hey man, hey, see a little young cat, hey man, why don't you go roll to some trade school or something? You look stupid out here. Why you in front of this gas station? Tell your nephews, you know what I'm saying? Go coach. Go up to the high schools. Go do something. That's all. That's it. And that's gonna cause a war with them white folks. Trust me. Right now they ain't got to worry about it. But once we click up, they gonna come hit. They gonna come hit us. Trust me. So everybody got to be mentally strong right now. You know, just let them go. They won that game. Yeah, y'all won. Y'all new time now, new ball game. So that's about it though.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Who was next? I see Dolo requesting to come up. Who was next?
Uh,
Okay,
uh,
my busy bees. I guess they're tired. Oh, Empress. Um, HB and Art. They've been very quiet on that damn mute button.
Nat is still up here
That-
too. Nat Turner.
yeah. Well, I think Empress, you just brought her up. So we'll start winding down. Go ahead, Empress, and anybody else want to request to come up. Oh, Dolo, he start requesting. Um, Go ahead, Empress.
Are you feeling better, Dana?
Well, it's just the nose, blowing the nose, but it's not as bad. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to send you in your email some good herbs for you to detoxify. I'm always concerned about that. Now, as you know, Sunday nights is my time of cleaning because I got OCD. I love doing it every day. That's just me. But now let's talk on the entitlement. I don't feel any kind of way for an individual that comes to someone else's country unwelcomed, uninvited, and feel that they have more rights than those that's been in the country by blood 500 to 600 years. In my bloodline, We can go back into the 1500s, and on my father's side, well up into the 1400s. So I say that to say this, it's definitely going to be wars and fighting and arguing all over the summer. And as you know, summer hasn't even gotten here, but we in the orb of it. And you cannot fight for those that automatically have no respect for foundational Black Americans. I noticed that when the police is out, even the martial guards, they are not pepper spraying, they are not shooting with rubber bullets. If it was those that are Black, this is what would be done. So that shows you they use discretion when it comes to Black Americans that they don't do to those that are foreigners and invaders. Everybody has a choice of whatever they choose to vote for. And as Peter said, he voted proudly for Trump, and he's glad at the work that's being done. And that's good for him because that is his right. Vote for whoever you want. But know that in your choice, there's always a consequence, good, bad, or indifferent. And as long as you're okay with the aftermath in your choices, I respect that. Some people are not prepared for the backlash of their choices. I don't go for never Democrat and never Republican because I've seen too many times where both parties do nothing to benefit the foundational Black Americans, but seem to benefit those that are class or would be considered as non-foundational because their parents cannot be traced with a lineage. It's an enormous amount of hatred, if you think about it, that has been coming continuously in the last 3 years, foundational versus non-foundational. I heard a gentleman state that he's only 25%. And if you notice his demeanor, he's got the most to say. You were right in what you said, Dana, when you say that he's always speaking against foundational Black Americans. When you are native to a land, either your lineage was already indigenous to the land or you were brought here by boats, you would not be considered illegal, unlike the individual that showed her racism that be on the View when she was telling a gentleman that those that were brought here on slave ships are also illegal migrants. People will show you their racism. All you have to do is sit back and really listen to what's on their mind. And once they let it out, you can never take it back. This is the year of the snake. So you'll always see liars, manipulators shed their skin and show you what they thought about Black Americans in general. And I will say in closing that the summer is going to be something that you never thought you would see. This little protest you see in California is just a mere drop in the bucket. It's going to be far worse. And at the end of the day, all of those who will say, we came here illegal, we're doing so much better, they're going to continue to beg for foundational Black Americans to help them. It's too late now because you've shown your behind. Totally disrespectful But I say every man has to hold their own draws up. Time out in using those that suffered and made it possible for you to come to a land only for you to be racially hostile and disrespectful. Whenever I have visited California in my lifetime, quite a few times, because I got family that live out there, I notice the arrogancy. And when they see you got money, you got titles that they don't have, they really hate on you. And then they'll try to cover it up like you're making, you're just making it up. Karen Bass is never going to be for, the Black community, because you look at what she sleeps with. So why would you ever think she's going to speak up for Blacks? They went out their way, Galvin Newsom, to make sure that the reparations bill would never get signed because he said he would veto it. So he got those that is non-foundational and a few other henpecks to vote against it. So he's got to be called out in his rhetoric. I'm not for him, and I'll be glad when he's out of office, and that is coming. He's not going to never win in a presidential run. So if he thought he was, he's going to lose every time. Your choices you have to live with down to the seventh generation. Take your time and pick wisely. Doesn't matter the party. It's your ideology and your mindset of what you're picking. Many people are going to regret their choices. Now, I'll land my plane there. Hope to see you this week, Dana. I'll send you an email on some great herbs to start working on to detoxify and clear up the system. Much Detroit love to you and Peter.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll look out for the email. All right, so I want to start winding it down. Oh, El Hotep, you brought him up. Go ahead, El Hotep, and then we'll just give our closing remarks. Good space tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it. Dana, I hope you're doing better. Peter, how's it going?
Great, man.
Um, Real quick, I didn't know that you did that collab with Tim Black. I actually got to finish the episode. It was from what I've seen so far, it was great. Hopefully, you guys can do a part two.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna have enough time. I did want to ask King Mike a question or King Michael a question, but I'm not. I'll say that for
You
Well,
could
another
go
ask
ahead.
me.
day.
Go
You could
ahead.
ask
As
me.
Black Americans,
Yeah, go
I think
El
we
Hotep.
shouldn't
Go
waste
ahead,
our
because I
time
know that.
being concerned with what's going on in Los
Can you hear
Angeles.
me, El
Um,
Hotep? Can you hear
Honestly,
me?
I don't have a horse
Hotep,
in
can
the
you
race
hear
or a
Dana
dog
right
in the
now?
fight, so I'm singing French Montana. I ain't
I
worried
don't
about
think he
nothing
can hear
as
none
far
of
as the
us.
immigration
Wait,
issue.
somebody else
I
say
could care,
something.
I could care less.
Somebody
Um,
King,
else say something.
that
El
being
Hotep,
said,
can you
though,
hear
I
me?
hope
El
everybody has
Hotep,
a good night.
you hear me?
Can you hear anybody?
I don't know.
He's gone. He's out.
Yeah, that you know what, and I give I give a lot of leeway to El Hotep because he works at night. So and I do spaces at night. So when he comes on, he's on the clock. So I get it. So he tries to find little pockets of time to come in, and it may not be the most, a place where it has good reception. So I give him more leeway. And I always like what he has to say. Sorry about that, El Hotep. Yeah, you went out. You went out. Um
You know what, Dana? I kind of think, you know how people was trying to debate the consciously guy. I kind of think your space would be a good platform to debate. It's neutral. It's a neutral place. If y'all can get them on here, I think your place would be this space would be the perfect space for anybody that want to debate that guy
He's not
and get
gonna
them talking
debate
points.
though. That's what you're not getting, bro. He has a platform and he's doing the narrative that got his platform. If you build a whole platform of Republicans, you're gonna Say Republican talking points, bro.
No, he'll do Dana because she has a live stream, so
Bro,
he's more likely to do hers
you say
Right.
because
more
that's how he
likely, but
debates.
anytime, look, bro. I've been having conversations with
Niggas
people,
not coming to no Twitter space to scream at you, Art. Knock it off.
and that's beside the point. That's moot.
Everybody don't
That
want to do that.
okay. Again, Deshaun, that's moot to the point. You know
That's
who?
not moot. That's literally
It
why he
is moot.
didn't
It is
do it.
moot. Because
It's not moot.
again, you can cry about it, but your
It's not
boy.
a crime. That's
Okay,
a fact, which is
no, no,
why
no.
he
You're just
literally said
crying because your
does
boy.
the stream.
Okay,
All right,
again.
hold on
All
for a
right.
second, guys. Hold on. And let me just make this announcement. If anybody want to put something up, put it in the blue pill, because if you put it in a jumbotron, no one is able to see it when the space is over. So put it in the blue pill so people, when they come back, they could see what was said, what people posted. If you put it in a blue pill, which is the comment section, not the jumbotron. This is recorded, but I'm not leaving this record up. You could go to my YouTube channel to listen to the recording, and that's at the Real Judge Joe Brown 23 on YouTube. At the Real Judge Joe Brown 23 on YouTube. And but yeah, going forward, don't put nothing in the jumbotron. Put it in a blue pill so people can see it after the space. So even though they don't hear it, they can still read what information you're putting up there. El Hotep, I sent you a request to come up, but maybe you're having connection issues. So let me just say thank you to everybody on YouTube for tuning in. Um, 1 second. How long we been going on? Yeah, 3 hours exactly. Perfect timing. So thank you everybody on YouTube, everybody here in this space, all of the speakers that came up. I really appreciate you guys. And this is, was a break. Now me and Peter is back. But Peter, don't play with me, honey, because you want to do MIA. You want to do your little ghosting, honey. You could go because everybody could be replaced. Everybody could be replaced. So yeah,
Jeez. Where's the love?
exactly. Where's the love at when
You
you want to
replaced him with
ghost?
Judge Joe Brown, huh?
Huh?
Because you replaced him with Judge Joe
I
Brown,
Judge
huh? The
hasn't
no,
been
I
on
didn't.
in
knowledgeable
weeks.
judge.
Where is Judge?
He's another
She
one that like to
replaced him with
ghost.
you,
I don't know where he
motherfucker.
at. That's what I'm saying. Like people switch up. People switch up. So he
I'm not
MIA
switching up. I've
too.
been in the courtroom for 10 hours and then
He
Yeah,
didn't
dealing
and
with
it's
want
not
nut
he
even
didn't
and
want
it's
to
not even your
co-host with
case.
Peter.
And it's not
I
even
know. I know.
but the fact is
Peter
that we
was
don't
taking
do
his time.
spaces. We don't do spaces in the afternoon, Peter. We do it at night. But you act like you an old man that you can't hop on a X space at night. You
I'm
ain't getting up.
tired.
You ain't getting in the line at 5, 6 in the morning so you could be in a courtroom. You show up at 9 in an overflow.
I mean, I'm getting up and I'm doing other stuff. I'm getting other work done. I'm exercising.
The
I'm doing
fact of
things
the
I gotta
matter
do.
is,
You know what
Dana,
I'm
you
saying?
replaced Judge with Peter, and Judge got
No,
mad.
the Judge Joe Brown space was Tuesdays. I don't do Me and Peter don't do spaces on Tuesdays. So I don't replace anybody with anyone, but everybody could be replaced. But the point is, Peter likes to ghost. And if you try to ghost, honey,
I don't ghost. What do you mean? I'm
I'm gonna be
available.
I'm gonna play Casper too.
I'm
And
back
if it be
Thursday
somebody
and
else on
Sunday.
there, I guess it'll be King Mike on that damn co-host. That'll really piss
He was
people
at
off.
he was asking for it actually. He wants to come up. He thinks this will he
I
thinks
think you
his
should do it,
he
Dana.
would balance the show. He's saying
He would,
you
but
have a
I will
Sicilian,
invite him on
an
time.
FBA, and a non an FBA tether
Yeah, they'll be on
mix.
your
Right,
head.
That'd
but
be
Right?
that
that'd be legendary.
it'll give
That'd
me
be
a headache.
legendary.
It'll give me a headache. I need someone who believes in American patriotism,
Nah,
which is
dinner. We
why
gonna
Peter's there.
Oh my
No,
God.
we
King
gonna
Mike,
talk, man.
Mike, I will have you come on my YouTube Friday panels. I think you'll fit in perfect then, and it's fun. If you're available Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, and
I gotta
and
get
this
my
is another
slot.
thing I do want to say, that a lot of us YouTube content creators, we're on X, and we do sometimes invite people to come on our platforms. And if somebody invite you, take the invitation and do it. Like, come on to YouTube, you know what I'm saying, to expand the conversation. um don't just hold it on X. So yeah, that's why I'm glad that Mike said that. Yeah, you're a debate, Naheem. Why not? And I think, it's good dialogue, and and good content. So I think more people need to do that. And you know, people, if Conscious he dropped a StreamYard link because he was live, go on there, challenge
They were
him.
scared, Dana.
Yeah, he did that, and I seen Marcel was basically saying either come to Spaces or you're gonna have to pay me to hop in your YouTube link.
Well, I
So
get
that
You know what
that
I'm
because
saying?
Marcel will bring in numbers. I get it, and that's why I said Marcel shouldn't even be. Marcel don't even. He doesn't. Well, I'm saying shouldn't because I'm not going to tell what he should and should not do. He didn't have to go back and forth with him. Sometimes you just don't, you know. But I get it what Marcel was saying, but um, but outside of Marcel, outside for Tariq Nasheed or whatever, if people say, hey, come debate me, go do it. Don't think that, oh no, it's a setup. It's not, because there are way more restrictions on YouTube than X. So it's
you
not
see,
like
one
people
thing
trying to set you up.
was one thing he was doing, he was like listing out 8 types of questions and then telling you to respond to all 8 questions in 5 minutes. It was like a real low hanging fruit type of thing
It
he
was
was
some
doing.
dumb shit. Oh, I
No,
said,
you can't really take him serious.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it
oh.
was
I
retarded.
like I go to anywhere, any space, anytime to debate. I'm not scared, afraid, nothing. I'm ready to go anytime. I could talk
So
about any of these issues.
he had
Yeah.
a whole bunch of rules and regulations. I mean, I get it for time purposes. Like, all right, this is a question, 5 minutes. I guess you don't want it to run on, whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't know. I kind of
It's
get
because you
it.
got to stay on
Right, but
topic
he
when
would
you
list
debate.
out
You
8.
can't just, that's how real
He
debate is. It's a topic, a specific
no
topic. It
no
is.
no that's being
No, bro,
that's
I'm
being manipulated.
literally,
He
bro,
was
listen
listing
to
out
me.
8 questions
Listen
and
to
then
me.
being
I'm
like, all right,
literally the
answer all
debate
these
Wait.
coach.
Hold on
questions
for
in
a
five
second.
minutes.
Hold on for a second, HB. What he was saying? What, Dolo?
He was like listing out 8 topics, 8 reasons why FBA was a white nationalist group, and then being like, all right, respond to these 8 things in 5 minutes. It was just
Oh,
very
yeah, that
weird.
shit
Like
sounds
That,
you can't take
weird.
him
that's how
seriously.
organized debate goes. You're
No,
on
that's not
topic.
how organized debate
Dana,
goes.
yes, it is. What are you talking about?
Nobody
That
sit
is
up here. First
not
of all,
gold.
no,
Deshaun, stop
an
Y'all need
actual.
to stop
I'm
it.
sorry. It's a debate. They don't say, okay, here are 8 things. Answer all 8 things in under 5 minutes. Rap. Continue tea bags in your mouth.
This
Is
shit is
it?
wild
I
right
think it's
now.
Earl Grey.
I'm watching a California highway patrols pinned underneath an overpass. They're getting hit with rocks and explosives.